And we're live. Hello, everyone. Well, no one here yet. I wonder if there's anyone waiting for this. I don't know. But, anyways, we are back. Another topic to talk about, something for me to muse on. But I got some new things that came in the mail also to share while we while we wait for more people to show up. I feel all right. Uh, what else? I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm excited to talk about this because this is like a precursor to a little something I don't want to talk about. I don't want to share too much on. It's a little something that I'm looking forward to diving into. But again, uh, it's again. I don't want to share. I don't want to share too much. I want to keep it hush hush for now. Um, but yeah. Anyways. Uh, what else is there? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We got one person watching. I wonder who that person is. Always a lurker. Always a lurker. So yeah, I need to shuffle. It doesn't feel right now when I'm live and I'm not shuffling something. Hello, Igor C. How are you, Igor? What's going on? It's Saturday, 3:30 p.m. It's warm. It's getting there. It's getting warm, but not too bad. It's not too bad. Like the AC doesn't need to be turned on, and I can walk around and I'm not going to break out in a sweat. But anyways, we got a few people in here. I want to talk about a few things that I got. Some new a book in particular that I've been like ever since the Wheel of Fortune, the Fortune's Wheelhouse podcast came out, and they mentioned this book, and they referenced this book, and they always throw it out. And I'm like, what is this? What is this talking about? Who is this person? I'm like, I need to check this out. And of course, out of print. No, Sunday, 9:30 a.m. There. You're in Australia, I believe, right? Uh, what's it like living in the future? um, but yeah, 36 Faces by Austin Coppock. Got this off of Amazon. The last resort that I had to go through, but I saved up for this bitch, and I'm so happy that I got it. I'm so happy that it's in my hands. Just flipping through it and like reading just a few things here and there. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready. So hopefully next year I can get into it. Maybe get the pick up the Picatrix as well. But I'm not sure if I need the Picatrix because I mean like he kind of like has all that here, and I feel like no. I think this is good enough to go through. So I think next spring, next Aries, I might do something and work with this, and maybe 36 Secrets as well by T. Susan Chang, and go through the decans of the Minor Arcana as well. But we'll see. Maybe I'll probably put it on my Patreon. Uh, so yeah. Which speaking of which, I did my month ahead reading on Patreon. So if you guys would like to do that, to see that, you can join at the I believe I have it up for all patrons, so you can join at the $1 and up, and you can see my month ahead reading that I did there. I wanted to look through this, but I'm like and reference and take some notes on some of the decans that were associated in those cards that I drew for the month ahead reading for October. But I'm like, nope, gotta write it. I'm like, nope. Speaking of which, I also need to do the week ahead reading. God, which it's only 3 cards, girl. But anyways, so yeah, there's that, and then we got a little teaser precursor. It's Saturday, 3:35 p.m. Are we in the same? Are we in the same time zone, Lady D? But I also got this in the mail. What was it? Yesterday. Uh, the Book of Maps, Revelation Edition. I feel like the book design could have been a little bit better. I don't know, but I do like, or maybe just plain, kind of like how the Nameless one is gonna be. Which, by the way, the Nameless one, like next month, maybe next month or right, November, December, around there. Exciting. Um, but yeah, I'm super happy that I got this in the mail, and I also picked up the journal, which again probably something that I'll probably also like keep track of and probably share on my Patreon as well. I'm like, I need other things other than just readings. I'm like, I want to write more and do more stuff like that, and probably instead of writing in this journal, I'll probably just use it as a template for just sharing posts on Patreon or something. Who knows? Yes, right now, but that will change next month. AZ doesn't change. Oh, that's Arizona. You guys are so lucky. It's so stupid. The time changing. Like, girl, when are we gonna stop that? Hello, it's Sunday, 34 a.m. here. Oh, girl, it's early over there, Gunhild. Let's see. I ordered it as soon as it became available. Haha, not long until it's yeah, for sure. I haven't actually fully read the book of maps for the second edition that I have. I've read sections of it for certain cards, but I haven't read through. I think like reading through the introduction and maybe like the later parts maybe would like be key to that, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot to go through. And this is apparently, I don't, we'll see how different it is. But again, so much on my plate. I'm going to take it as it goes, hopefully save it for another time. But this I'm excited for. This here, SKT2 Book of Maps is huge, just as big as Holistic Tarot. So much info. Yeah, I mean, with anything that Benabel is going to put out there, I'm expecting big books. I'm expecting textbooks. But yeah, but this I'm really excited for. This is something that I just heard about, and oh, thank God it stayed sealed. Right? Jesus, look at this. The glue is all just, girl. Ooh. But let me tell you, this is not cheap. SKT3, the Revelations, I've skimmed over. There's less stuff in it compared to SKT. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like pictures in that. But again, I have to see what fully is like. How well in depth are these things explained here? Oh, is this? Oh wait, no. Okay, or is it glued on there? Oh, I'm gonna have to be careful with this. But Abstract Futures Tarot. Let me just talk about this. A great tragedy. R.I.P. to nobody here, Annika. She's the one that told me about this deck in our group chat. And I was like, where can she's like, and she wanted to find out how to get her hands on a copy. And I'm like, girl, there I go, tapping away, looking it up. Find out, just email them. I'm like, here, you email them. I was able to get my hands on a copy, and then Y on the Coast Tarot was able to get a hand on his hands on a copy, and then as Annika was emailing, she like they sold out, and I was like, oh, can I get 2 copies? Because I was like, because if I can get in contact with them, I can get 2 copies, and I can, because I have some things to send to Annika. And I could just toss it into the box and ship it out there and save on shipping for her. And I thought I could get 2 copies. They didn't let me get 2 copies because it was only 300 copies. And like there was only like under 100 copies left. So yeah, so this is by the artist cooperative project. Hello, Rachel Days, by the way. I just saw you and I'm like, oh, I should say. I'm not sure if I said hello. So yeah. But anyways, just tragic story. I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for her. But yeah, again, I feel like this shouldn't be on the outside because I don't want to. Okay, I think I can. Yeah, I want to keep that. Oh, there we go, like that. There we go. I'll keep it like that, or I'll probably put it inside the box because it is signed by the creators, and I got number 203 out of 300. So yeah, there is a second printing though going to happen of this deck, and it is based on Ilma something Klimt's artwork. She was like an occultist, and she drew a lot of abstract art in her, through her life, and only recently like has she like really like become more known in like the past 2-3 years maybe. I think there was a big thing like there's a picture that she illustrated that I'm like, oh, okay, very abstract though. And so these 2 artists work together. I should have gotten their Instagram before I went live, and I'll share those here so you guys can check out their work and keep in touch and see when their second printing will be available. So yeah. So let's get into this. Let's see if you guys can Hopefully my camera will behave and give me justice. Hopefully this. I can already tell. I'm looking at the cards and I'm like, I can already tell this gilding may not work that well. I just got the. Oh, I want to look at that. I want to get that one too. The Phrenic Pinter, or the Surrealist Tarot. But here's the thing: when it comes to images like that or decks like that, I feel like Lo Scarabeo like kind of drops the ball a bit, or doesn't really do anything like. Doesn't really like. I don't know. They could do better. I should have a trash can here, but I don't. It's all the way over there. Ugh. Hold on here. So yeah, but I want to check that one out. Crystal Raven Rose. Oh, so now it glues shut. Now the mail thing. When I'm wanting to reopen it, it wants to close shut. Yeah. I changed my mind on this really. Oh. T. What's the T, girl? So yeah, I can see there's, yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see all the glitter coming off of my fingers. On this, I'm going to have to, yeah, look at that. That is, yeah, you can see it right there. All that glitters. Damn. It just gets, I'm gonna have to put it right, wipe it off on my sweats, because I will not riffle shuffle this. Wow, that is a lot of, it's very dusty glitter here. What was the last one that was like this? I can't remember. Look at that. I'm pretty sure that's gonna wear out. Hopefully in the second edition, they can find a different type of glitter, because I can tell this is not gonna last. But again, they are artists. They're not really. I don't think the creators are well in touch with the deck production standards in know-how. Yeah. I know. I'm just gonna. Yeah. Okay. So it seems to be holding up so far. I will say, as much as I love the Blood Moon Tarot, oh my God, you can even see it flying everywhere. As much as I love the Blood Moon Tarot, the gilding just first shuffle that was gone. Overall, I'm not so much a fan of glitter. It looks pretty, but I don't like working with it very much. Wait, what is this? Espacia Rising. I'm not much a fan of glitter. Looks pretty. I'm not, but I don't like working with it very much. Which one? This one? Do you have this deck? Espacia? I mean, look at this. Let me show this. Let me show the imagery. Enough about, reviewing. So it's again, it's very abstract. So there's not really people in there, but hopefully the ideas come across. And I feel like this is more in the line of like Ashira Tarot, or or something like that. More meditative type of thing. You have this image and you keep it in your mind, And again, yeah, like abstract imagery confuses me too much. I feel like abstract imagery makes me feel uncomfortable. It for some reason, it like makes me feel like almost like when you see liminal spaces. It reminds me of that. It's very inhuman. It's very like void of warmth, I feel. But again, I think it's very beautiful either way, But how it makes me feel, it's like it's not the art style that I would be like, oh my God, because I do like how they came out, how they did, because this really isn't like you see it, you wouldn't really, it doesn't scream at your face, the archetypes of the tarot. Let me let my dog out, because of course she always has to be let out. Yeah, and watch. I'll give it 15 seconds. I'll give it 15 seconds. It's 14:30 right now. We'll wait till it's 14:40 something. She'll want to come back in. Watch. It's like the Yang version of the Field Tarot. Don't, girl. I've talked about the Field Tarot. I'm not a fan of the Field Tarot. And it's funny that you say that, because it is a very like well, no, correction. One of them I believe is non-binary, and the other, and I think the other is a woman. She identifies as again. I'll share their Instagrams right now. Yeah, the camera's not doing it justice, but I'll film a walkthrough of it. This is very like decorative. I would actually kind of want to have either prints or like maybe spread cloths with their art, with their designs on it, with their art pieces on it. I think this would look cool on a spread cloth. What did I say? Oh, okay, at least a minute. And she wanted to come back in. So yeah, so there's the world. You see, I don't want to compare it to the field tarot because when we get to the minor arcana, it's nothing like that. I thought I wanted this from the field tarot. I wanted something more like this from the field tarot, and they just relied on Rider-Waite-Smith scenic imagery, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity in my opinion. So it's very Pippish, very much in the line of like the Thoth, or well, not really, but yeah. First word that came to mind when looking at these was mathematical, and there is a mathematical tarot, but I do like that. I would like to see if they've done like any like geometrical, numerological geometry type of thing. I don't get it. Yeah, and I think that's abstract art in general. I think is very like, well, I don't get it. There's nothing to get. I don't know. Again, I'm no art expert. It's the math. But I mean, like, isn't math like a big part into like playing with numbers and numerology? And if you think about it, number is like the base. There's something to it. I don't know. There's another. I'm gonna talk about. That's another. We'll save it for another topic because today, what do you expect from readings? That's the topic. But I just wanted to flip through these cards. Because I thought these were going to come in. Is that a scratch? No, that's just the art. No, that's just the painting. Scratch right there. See that white line there? Right there. What is that? Is that from the cards? No, yeah. They say it's wands, but it looks like swords with the little like handles on here and how they're pointed. Now I got to see what the swords look like. It's more like geometry and calculus, but I mean, like, why haven't we gone that far with numerology? Here's the Ace of Cups. So this one you can kind of see. Okay, you can kind of vaguely see the Ace of Cups. Yeah, here we're kind of getting more into like the. Okay, here's the Ace. Here's the Two of Cups. You kind of see. We're getting into some familiar waters here. For no pun intended. That was very accidental. Yeah, like you see the 3 cups upside down and the 2 right side up right there, and that's all you get, And then we have the 6. This one's like, this one again, it's more abstract, but yeah. If this was arguing in exhibit, I walk through the rooms very quickly. I'm not getting any emotions. Yeah, that's what I said. Abstract, it's very devoid of emotions. But I feel like that leaves enough space for us to put into something. But again, it's something that one would have to work with. Isn't that the point of doing some work? Doing the work is, yeah. Yeah, the 9 of Cups here. It's very interesting. I feel like it should be like that, Which again, I feel like there should be more horizontal tarot cards. I'm tired of the vertical. We've been there, done that. Give me something new. And I feel like, well, with this, honestly, it can be any way, which way, whatever. They should make a borderless version. Hello, and you can use it in any way. I feel there's no sense of up or down here. Yeah, Rothko. I need to see that one. I need to check that out. Here's the page of cards. So you can see like the pages all have this little like bubble of like dots here. Yeah. I guess the knights all have the square pattern here. I'm assuming. I'll have to see. The queen. And then the king. Here's the ace of swords. So let's see. Okay, so I think. Well, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a little tricky to tell apart the swords from the wands. Though this one I like. This 5 of swords is cool. The swords, they're getting more. Something's going on here. Yeah, it's very much like things are getting a little bit like, okay, I can't really tell what are the suit icons here. You know, it really just looks like a pattern. Like, I think I'd see this on a carpet, you know? No tea, no shade, you know? Let's walk on together. No, wait, don't leave. I still need some answers, though. I have a question. Yeah, I hope they turn these into carpets. Do they have a red bubble? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I feel like they're very, very much like artists, and they wouldn't really do anything like that. Because again, very limited, very, you know, I thought it was going to be a very difficult deck to get your hands on, but very easy in the end. It's time to hit the gift shop. Well, if you'd like to support the channel. Here's the Ace of Pentacles. You see, now again, it seems like they had an initial idea, a very simple idea with the ace with the wands, and then like things just started getting way weirder and out there with you know, the more they did the further along they went with the tarot. I'm not sure. Wait, fair. Yeah. Not sponsored. Not sponsored. When am I gonna get? Also, other news. Watch me lose watch me lose 6 subscribers right now because I mentioned this. I finally passed 2K, or I've reached 2K finally. Huh. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's again, like I said, it wasn't like a, oh my god, I need to get. It's more like a, I've been at 1.9 for so long. Like, come on, just cross over it. I'm probably going to be stuck on 2K for another like year or so. So yeah, all I can say is I really do though want a carpet with these, or a painting. I would like to buy a painting with some of these because, you know, I think these are nice and, you know, I think they're different enough. It's different. It's different. She's different. But anyways, thank you. Yes. And I couldn't have done it without any of you. Really, really, you guys should be congratulating yourselves for achieving this. I'm just here with a lot of free time on my hands. And speaking of free time, a lot of free time on my hands, and really nothing much to talk about. So let's talk about something. You know, I don't want to dwell too much on this. I was thinking like, ooh, for every 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway. I don't care at this time. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I even reached 1,000 subscribers. So, you know, I'm surprised I even reached 100. Like, let's be real. I'm like, yeah, really. But again, I remember that people can subscribe to multiple channels. You know. But anyway, so yeah, this is the Abstract Futures Tarot. Let's see. Hey, can I get sorry, Kanchan Verma. I'm not doing readings right now. Instead, we are going to be talking about what you expect from a reading. So, Kanchan, this, if you are in the search for a reading, because I'm also in the search for a good reader for myself, and I've asked this question a few times, and I'm like, okay, I'm not really getting answers quick enough. My impatient Aries here, shuffling my Dream Keepers as I watch. Which one's that one? Is that the one that Lucy always was like, Dream Keepers, Dream? No, where is she? I don't want to look through my cards. It's in a bag. All right, that was published by U.S. Games. It was indie, but then it was published. Oh no, I shouldn't have taped this on here. Come on, peel off. I'm trying to be very careful. There we go. The stress I just put myself under right there. There we go. Okay, I want to put this in here. Thank you. Ooh, nope, not like that. Let's go like this. So, when y'all are getting a reading or buying a reading, Liz Houston, yes, I have the indie. Okay, yeah. So when you guys are going out and you guys are like, I need a reading, I'm gonna schedule a reading, or I'm going, or I'm looking for a reader. What are the standards or the expectations that you have in getting a reading? How do you expect for the reading to be conducted? Do you have an expectation of it? What what is most important to you in getting a reading from someone, uh especially if you're paying for this reading, and I've been shopping around, looking around, and I'm seeing quite a bit of readers that like are booked like a month in advance. So it's like, okay, this isn't really readings for like emergency questions as in like I need this answered right now. You should really have this like, you should really plan this out, a bit, and be prepared to like have to wait a while for that. Let's see. Don't you think that because many of us have years of experience in tarot, that we have pretty high standards? And this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, and this also varies from, readers like me and and people who collect and study tarot and have worked with tarot themselves. What standards do those people have versus two people like, I'm not sure if Kanchan, are you still here, Kanchan? Or people that are just here to get the readings and are only ever asking the questions and don't really care too much about the tarot itself, but rather the answers that can give them to their questions, and really looking for the service of it. What are the standards between those two? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to see on both sides, actually. But I think so, yeah, I think we do have a pretty much higher standard, and we're a little bit more aware and critical of a reading being conducted for us in a way. Let's see. I don't think I could go to a metaphysical fair and get a reading. Am I a snob? No, I don't think so. I mean, it's because again, it's like, what if you know that there is a really good reader that you know and you trust, and they're like, oh, they're going to be there at that fair, I'm gonna go. I think it's not necessarily the metaphysical fair itself, but I do think that the metaphysical fair does carry the same air, aura, energy, presumption in a way of like, what's it like the telemarketer type of, the phone call type of readers, or the or the people that go on Purple Ocean, but again, yeah, I don't think I would go to a metaphysical fair. Are those even still a thing? I feel like they shouldn't be. Especially with the dawn of the internet, with the creation of the internet and like YouTube and live streaming and all that. I feel like that's kind of going to be a thing of the past, and I don't think they're going to be around for long. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, but again, no, I don't think you're a snob. It's like, again, it's what you're willing to pay for. I love this. I love this. I love shoveling it, but it's a shame for the metallic glitter on here. That's all over my sweats on my shirt now. I'm dusted in glitter. So yeah. Let's move on though. Let's carry on this topic though. Because I was, where was it that I was listening to? I think it was the town hall meeting, I believe, where all these tarot YouTubers or tarot online people go on and they talk about, I think the last one that they were on, Mark Horn, the author of The Gates of Light or something like that, Tarot and the Gates of Light or something like that. I have the book, but I have yet to go through it. where they talk about like, oh, well, one of the best ways to really learn to become a reader is really being on the other side of it, and really is, receiving readings. I'm like, that is very true, actually. That is actually very true. I should, and so I'm like, I'm going to start looking at things as to how I should have a kind of a set standard. I don't want to set expectations, because again, it's like, you kind of have to know what you're getting at, and or make your, not to get assumptions. I'm not trying to set myself up for lowered expectations or whatever. Uh, oh, really? They are a thing, social distance, but a thing. I don't agree. I think people love the fairs. I haven't had a reading in years. The summer I was in Santa Fe and got a reading from Lisa. Oh, okay. I guess that is a good. I guess that an alternative is it's a great opportunity for readers and people that are interested in tarot and all that to join together. Yeah. Okay. That is good too. That is, I'm pretty sure they'd start becoming more like conventions then, much like Reader's Studio or the Northwest Tarot Symposium, which I would like to go to one of those. But again, Rona, I'm like, I got to get my booster, There is a psychic fair every few months. Some people like the personal feeling, and you can buy stuff. Okay, work. Okay, so maybe not. I feel like what I had in mind was just purely just like a room full of like tents where people would read cards, and people would just go through, and it's like, no, I feel like okay, good. If it was just card readers or like psychic readers or whatever that was there, if there wasn't anything else, I feel that would be a missed opportunity. I feel why am I going, I'm like trying to fix braids here, but anyways, okay, yeah, it's like okay a convention, more like. I haven't gone since the Rona. You meet a lot of nice people. Maybe one day, if I will get over my social anxiety, maybe slight agoraphobia, undiagnosed. No. Psychic fairies are generally much less expensive too. And that's the thing. It's like what would be a good price point that you would be comfortable in paying? What would be, because again, everybody likes to save $1, but I will say it is a thing that, like, when you pay the higher price and the reader is getting the higher price, they should be, putting a little bit more effort into it, I'm agoraphobic, diagnosed, but still go, right? It's like, it's sort of like, I feel like it's sort of like being online, being in a mass, like a very socially exposed type of thing, but it's like there's still like some sense of control and safety for some weird reason. Probably not though, but in a way. But yeah, I'm like, one day I'll schedule an appointment with a therapist or a psychologist or whatever. Let's see. I paid a lot for Lisa de Saint Croix. How do you pronounce her name? I'm saying Lisa de Saint Croix or Croix. Croix. I'm so sorry, but yeah, her, totally worth it. I got to see her art studio and when she's working on, and I got a good reading. That's actually very cool to have someone like a behind the scenes. Like, this was only available at the art studio that it was at, so it was like, this. But again, you could like email them and get there. But if you were at the studio, you can see the gallery and the full paintings. You can buy. I think you could even buy original art there. But yeah. Saint Croix, right? Saint Croix. These are the Saint Croix. It's still not helpful. I think it's Croix. I can't. I'm sorry. I try. But yeah, I would like to see a behind the scenes and a making of. I do like to get into that. So yeah. Let's see. I go with a safe person. certifiably crazy here. My goal is to get a service dog to help me. Oh, okay, okay, work. San Croix. I'm not. Let's go on. Lisa from the Terror Creator. Lisa, her. Yeah. Lisa Huntington. No. Lisa Pepez. No. Lisa. Who else? Who else is it? I feel like there's quite a few Lisas in tarot deck production. I'm just trying to avoid pronouncing her last name. Is it her last name? Doesn't matter. Moving on. So again, one person was because this came up also because one person was saying like they're because of intuition. When I was talking about intuition and working with intuition in a reading, when you're getting a reading, how do you know you're getting a good intuitive reading as the querent? You know, how do you know? And don't say, oh well, they're accurate and they're spot on. That's any tarot reading, even without intuition or any psychic energy. The cards naturally are made, you know, they're gonna touch on any aspect of your life. They're made to kind of be a catch-all, really. So again, accuracy really isn't like a key there. But again, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, let's see. Reading for myself for years and reading for friends for years. Okay, that was the 2 steps that helped me get there. Yeah, I think again, I think it is. I think that is a big thing. Experience. I think we should add that on there. Experience as one of the key things to expect from a reader. Right? How long have they been reading? How long have they been doing this? And I think there will be a difference between the person that's been reading for 2 years versus the person that's been reading for 5 years. Versus the one that's been doing it for 50 years, you know, and that's a major leap. But again, you know what I mean. There's a difference. There is a difference, yeah. And I can totally tell that just from like the very first few readings that I read, in the very start of my YouTube live streaming reading that I did. I will say a part of me feels like I've kind of gotten worse. Well, particularly with the Marielle, how I read the Marielle is very. Now I feel like I've lost what I had back then, or it's just changed, but I kind of want to go back to how I would read that. But we have to move on. It's you know, I never look back, darling. It distracts from the now, you know. But yeah, I would say experience. Should I make a banner here? Nah, we'll save it for later. So I think number 1, experience. I guess another one would be I don't know what's another one. Pricing, right? I mean, it's very subjective, I guess. Where it's like for me currently, I'm very much really only comfortable with, you know, donations, whatever you can pay, you know, whatever you can donate for a reading, and however much you donate is what I'll, you know, do how many cards. But yeah. Let's see. But you know, it's yeah. So on pricing, I want to focus on pricing for a bit, you know, because again, let's be real, it's a transference of energy. You can't do everything for free. And let's be honest, like free readings, it's exhausting and it's a lot, and you can only go so much with experience. Let's see. If I ask for a reading, I hope that the reading will shed a new or brighter light on a situation. But if I am in love, I just hope to hear that she loves me back. Cute. You know, and I think that right there is kind of like the general consensus that I've been getting from the few comments that I've gotten on the posts that I've done. I need to post a few more in a few other Facebook groups, but you know, but that's a given. That should be like, again, shed light, show experience. Yeah, but I'm focusing more on how well is that delivered to you? You know, what is the customer service? How is that priced? What, again, how, like I said, experienced, you know, the type of person that you're dealing with, because yeah. So again, how much is that, this brighter light on the situation, this finding clarity, how much are you willing to pay for that to be done, and how do you know that you've gotten your money's worth in doing so and achieving so, uh the longer someone has been reading for, the higher profile that reader has, she, he, they can charge more. I agree with that. I agree. Like the $50 readings and the even up to the $100 readings. That's like a good mediator. Like it is a bit pricey, but I think if they have depending on the person, I guess, or some, I don't know. There's something there because again, another thing that we have to keep in mind is how trustworthy they are. Because again, it is, although it is a stereotype, but it is a thing of people scamming in the tarot reading world. Um, you know, so how are we gonna, how do you make sure you're getting your money's worth and you're not getting scammed? But again, because again, when I see even those, where was it? I think it was Dusty White, I believe was the person's name, was the crew. He wrote Advanced Tarot Secrets or something like that. And he's like, where you can, for the beginners, to get you to the point to charging the $1,000 tarot readings for celebrities. And I think that's, again, pricing in location. So if I were to go to Hollywood or be where a lot of the superstars and the celebrities go to, I can probably easily, if I knew what to do and I knew how to do that and I was more socially outgoing, I would probably be able to scam my way into getting movie stars and celebrities and artists to pay me a shit ton of money to do a 3-card reading. you know you know what I mean? I don't charge very much because I started reading professionally, even though I've been reading for years. You see, and that's another thing. It's like you're reading for yourself for years or for personal close situations for years, and then you open it to the public. And then, yeah, I think, yeah, I'd have to see. Girl, you got a website or something? Yeah, how thorough is the reading? Yeah. If it's slam bam, thank you, ma'am, it's better. It better be. That's that right there. The slam bam, thank you, ma'am. That's my, that's my. That right there is how I do my live readings. That's why I don't really do them that much, because it's like they're repetitive. They're not repetitive, but like one after the other and super quick, and they're quite, they're very surface level, and I don't get the chance to really divulge into them. Versus when I first started, also that's another thing. I really wouldn't bring in that many people at the time for my live readings. It would be a very steady flow, and I would be able to take my time with it. And that's kind of, I think that's another thing. Taking time with the, how thorough is the reading, how is it paced, the pacing, and how the reading is, fed out. I feel like that's a thing I got to work on, really pacing myself and taking my time and just taking it easy. Let's see, there's a lot of readings I wouldn't mind paying, and there's a lot to the reading. If there's a lot to the reading, I wouldn't mind paying more. Yeah, so again, depth and thoroughness and pacing, I think, is another thing. So I should take note of that. I'm taking notes, bitch. I'm taking notes. You have to have goals. There are usually always loved ones too. Yeah, always love readings. Yeah. Yeah, and some of them, girl, let me tell you, some of the things that I've heard in these questions, I'm like, oh my god, what are they telling you? Who are you going to? Who is telling you this stuff? But let me see this. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna write on there pacing. Yeah, pacing. What else did we say? Thoroughness. Yeah. How do you even spell thorough? You know what I mean. And pacing, thoroughness. Yeah. So yeah, I should put on there. So yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what else to get into. I think we covered it all. I think that's it. Thank you everyone for. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Also, how is it delivered? Do you go over things with the currents thoroughly? Yeah. That goes with the thoroughness. Yeah, I send my clients photos of the cards and go over everything with them. I want their input, and that's another thing. Is it written? Yeah. How is it delivered? Yeah. Do you get an image? Let me tell you. I would like to see the cards. I don't want just a handwritten type of thing. I would like, little something more. I want to see I want to see the cards that I got and what they look like, And that right there is when you start describing the cards. Because if you're just giving me messages without really describing what the cards are or explaining how the cards give you that message, what is the point of, even calling it a tarot reading? Might as well just go straight to a psychic or someone that, is going to, psychic medium, whatever, getting messages through another alternate source without having to, get into that. But this is where some send videos. Yeah, videos or video chats that I would like to see. That I would like to schedule and get into. I want to try getting more into the one-on-one. I want to get into, hopefully, when Rona calms her shit, and people start, more and more people start getting vaccinated, and things start getting safer, I can start, finding where to, go and do readings in person and break out of this, antisocial shell that I'm in. I feel. Anyways, but yeah, videos and in-person readings, it's the back and forth. Because in comparison to the readings that I have experienced through my lives, do it on Zoom. There's a way I can do it here on StreamYard, that I'm on, that's what I use, or some other one, because I personally don't like Zoom. Because, well, not really that big. Yeah, no. I think Zoom is a StreamYard competitor. Yeah, I'm gonna say it here. Fuck Zoom. I'm just kidding. A lot of people use Zoom, so I'll probably have to adapt. Now, I'm pretty sure it's easier now, because I remember when I first tried to use Zoom. No. No. But again, reading tarot through lives, very different dynamic, because it's a struggle to get a good back and forth from the chat, because particularly here in StreamYard, there's a 10-second delay. So that already just hinders the communication there. I got to learn to get a good cadence of blah, 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 and then get something in return, and then da, 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 and then get it, instead of here where I'm like this, rambling. I have to kind of prevent any dead air, really, I feel. Hopefully with like in-person chats or through video chats, I don't have to. But yeah, then there are videos, where you can just do not necessarily like a video chat or whatever, but it's just a pre-recorded video. You have the cards there. You show the cards, you explain it, you talk about it, whatever, you describe the imagery, all that stuff, and you explain your work. You come to your conclusion, you show the work that you did to get to the answer that you did. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. Even people who don't know tarot want to see the cards, and they get intuitive hits too. Yeah, they're gonna see some of the imagery and they're gonna be like, ooh. Some of them are instinctual, like some of the art depictions can be very like scary and intimidating, particularly like in the Marielle, or maybe even Blood Moon or the Thoth. And hell, even in the Rider Waite Smith, it can be pretty. There are cards in there that people who aren't comfortable with tarot can get intimidated by. Let's see. Some of the best readings are instant. This is also true, though. It's also true. Sometimes some questions are just in need of a yes or no. But that's just how you word the question, any question that starts with, I think, will whatever, da 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 da, right? That's usually going to end up in a yes or no question. You just point from one card to another, and boom, realization hits. Some tarot readers sometimes spoil this and blab on and on. Tarot session is not therapy. That's true. That's another thing. Because this is a danger that I sometimes fall into, where I can go way far off into something and then I lose track of answering the question. I saw a video of a girl. She's like, I paid somehow much for 5 readers, and here's what I got. And one of the things that she complained about from these readers, she didn't say their names, and I'm like, damn, I wanted to mess. But one of the things that she pointed out was that barely any of them actually answered the question that she had. And I'm like, girl. And sometimes you'll see on my live streams, I'll even catch myself, I'll be like, but that's besides the point. The actual answer to the question is this, that's the thing. Yeah. Let's see. And if a lot of people are in chat, you have to cipher through to find their responses. Yeah. That's a good point. How do you choose which deck for which people? That is another thing. Is that do they have certain decks for certain people? And here's another thing that I just thought of. I was thinking about this. Oh no, this is gonna get into another branch of things, but we'll get into it. But yeah, how do you choose which deck for which people? Yeah, I mean, like I said, if someone got this deck and pulled it out for me personally, it's gonna be devoid of emotions. It's gonna be pretty cold. I haven't read with it. Who knows how it will read? But abstract art in general just gives me a little bit like. I know Uncanny Valley is really more for like animation imagery that looks way too human, or like that looks off. I think the Polar Express the movie is a very good example of the Uncanny Valley, along with Beowulf is another good example where it's like, what is going on? Why does it look like that? It's it's like that. And there are a few tarot decks that look like that do have the Uncanny Valley look to them. But abstract art in general just gives me that sense, and it gives me like an empty pit in my stomach for some reason. But not to say it's bad, because I think this deck is actually really, really pretty. But yeah. And a lot of just regular people like the more traditional card. Yeah, I mean, that's, again, classic Rider-Waite-Smith there's nothing, again, it slaps. It fulfills that presumption that people have. But again, like even to get into even the more OG would be to go into like the really fortune tellery type of phrasing with like the Marseille and like what those cards mean, or even playing cards or all that, or even palm reading. But again, you're describing what you see in each hand. You're going to say like, this part of your hand represents this, these cards represent that. You're going to describe the work that you're doing. Let's see. That's the fun part for me. After talking to the client, I hone in on the decks for them. So much fun. And usually for me, it's more the question, the type of question that's being asked. But I think that might change, like you said, when you talk to a client and you get to know them. That's another thing. Do they, does the reader have some, what would it be called? Like a warm-up kind of convo, to kind of get to know the querent and all that, and to get to know them better. Because again, here's the thing that people kind of like misconceive or get a misconception about tarot reading is we're not playing a guessing game. We're not trying to figure out something that you're trying to hide. No, you have a question, you have a problem. Let's try and find some clarity in that. This is why general readings aren't really that fun or really great, because it's like, come on, like, what's the issue? What predicament are you in? Or awkward situation that you're in that you're like, I kind of need a different perspective here, and can we figure this out? Or I just need, honestly, a toying cost in the form of a tarot card reading. Yes or no, should I do this or not? I do know that there's good or bad on each one. Let's go with it. I think I would like to see that a bit. I wouldn't like to be like, okay, what's the question and all that. That's very much like what I've been doing with my live streams. I kind of want to step out of that and really get to know the person a little bit more. But on the other hand, one person, I did kind of like, was like asking a few more questions a bit too much. And they were like, well, damn, I thought I was getting a reading. I thought I wasn't being interviewed, or, or what was the term? Not interviewed. Oh my gosh. When is it when the police like talk to you and Damn, it's not interview. It's someone's gonna. It's such a simple word too. Interrogated. There we go. I think that's what the person said when I did their reading for them. It was like, interrogation. Hello, girl. The Queen of Shovels, girl. How are you, Christy? Yeah, interrogation. Thank you. It's like, so that's another thing. That was, again, my fault, because I kind of just fired question after question to gain a little bit more clarity around the context of the question that they were asking. Girl. What's all that about? with the oh, girl. Oh, I forgot the L. I thought it was 2 exclamation points. I thought, why is she growling at me? The only growling should be from my brand. I miss you. I've missed you too, Christy. So happy I made it. Love this convo. Yeah, it's a conversation. I'm like, wait a minute. Do we have a clear set? And no, it varies from person to person. Let's see this. EE gave a reading to a woman dating a married man. Emperor, Devil, Empress. She said that the wife was the devil. EE silently pushed the devil card up, and she said, "Oh no." A wordless. It's very interesting. Yeah, to just even like move, or even like just the body language that one can have, and just like is just enough to really just alter that. We got to get like some, personality behavior type of analysis people to look into tarot readings and do some tests on that, because I feel like it'd be a very interesting actual social experiment that you can do. Because again, how do people interact with a reader? How does that reveal, because again, with tarot, you're revealing quite a bit of hidden things sometimes, things you really don't want out in the open sometimes. But yeah, like again, dating a married man, that wouldn't be something that you would be very open to. But yeah, that's that. Wow. I really need to get his book, but again, Le Marseille is just something that I'm like, one day soon. But hopefully when I'm done with my tarot series, and I'm, when that's finally filmed and done and out of the way, I can finally just settle back down and go to the origins and the source of things, and go back to the core of the tarot, outside of the occult and esoteric, correspondences layering onto the tarot cards. But aside from that, though, a lot of work is figuring out how to phrase their questions. Yeah, like I said, if just putting, just a simple, when I see the word will in the front of the question, it's right. It's usually, for the most part, going to be a yes or no question. But if you put what or when or how or where, that's going to really expand the possibilities of what the question can be, and be a little bit more clear on what it is. So yeah. Yeah, this is beautiful. So moving on, though, I kind of like skipped over a few things. I know there was another thing that I wanted to talk about: the picking of the decks, the getting to know the people, right? The talking to people, the getting to know the people. I think my mom called it, when particularly when you're talking to a doctor or a medical professional, she calls it bedside manners. And I was like, I've heard the term here and there, but I never really fully sat down and thought with what the word could mean, or what the phrase would mean. And it's like, yeah, I think that's another thing that could apply to tarot readers. How is their bedside manners? Is it just, get the job done, answer the question, move on to the next one, let's see. People are not clear. Yes, people are not clear on their inquiry. Like they're afraid we're going to lead the convo if we know too much. It's like, no, for the most part, we know nothing of these people. We just are looking at a very limited perspective of them. But again, There's been times, only one time actually, but I'm pretty sure if I kept doing, if I still do live readings, and the more I do readings, I'm pretty sure more and more of these moments or these situations are gonna happen, where the cards really do like reveal the actual situation, that like even context that the person that's being given that's getting the reading, the querent, won't give, you know. Yeah, kind of like they think it's a psychic reading. Yeah, I think a lot of people just want that psychic reading, guessing game. Like, I can look into the things that you're trying to hide. It's like, no, that's not the point. That's not going to help you, and that's not going to help, you know, your situation, really. It's like, wait, like, yeah, I correctly guessed that you had a dead relative, you know, that died and whatever, you know, in such a terrible way. And they say that they love you. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, okay, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to, what's the practical use here? The Capricorn moon in me is just jumping out, you know. It's like, how are we going, you know, why, you know, how, and then what, you know? It's like, what are you going to do about it? You know, I think Y always makes sure when we do our joint live readings, he always makes sure, like, okay, yeah, here's what the cards are saying, but what are you going to do with this information? You know, what are you going to do about it? You know, again, it's like, yeah, and it goes back to that reading, like, you know, oh, it turns out she's the devil, you know. Turns out she was the devil in this relationship, you know. Yeah. And Dune, of all books, well, I mean, it is the perfect book to kind of like look into this when it comes to like even looking into the future, getting glimpses of the future, and seeing what the future may hold. He does talk about that. I shared it on my Facebook group, the Tiger's Bookshelf, which is in hibernation until I finish another book. Wait, actually, I just did. I'll write up a review of it and post it on there just to, you know, log it. Let me see if I can find it actually. Let me get Dune and find that quote and read it out to y'all. Let's see. Oh, you have a Capricorn moon. I'm a double Cap. Yeah, I have a Capricorn moon. And I think I have Jupiter in Capricorn as well. Let me see if I can find this. I'm not sure if I highlighted it or not. I don't even know which chapter it is. Let me see here. Let's see. I'll find it. Give me a minute here. Let's see. I wonder if this is an actual book. You know, if he actually wrote these books. Probably not. These are just little like blurbs from a made-up book. It's coming out in October in the US, at least. But yeah, with Timothée Chalamet. Let me see. Oh, I think I found it here. Okay. Muad'Dib, I believe that's how you pronounce that, could indeed see the future, but you must understand the limits of this power. You think of sight, you have eyes, yet cannot see without light. If you are on the floor of a valley, you cannot see beyond your valley. Just so, Muad'Dib could not always choose to look across the mysterious terrain. He tells us that a single obscure decision of prophecy, perhaps the choice of one word over another, could change the entire aspect of the future. He tells us the vision of time is broad, but when you pass through it, time becomes a narrow door. And always he fought the temptation to choose a clear, safe course, warning that path leads ever down into stagnation. From Arrakis Awakening by the Princess Irulan. From Dune, page 215 by Frank Herbert. So yeah, let me just share that right there, so you guys can pause it if my camera will focus. Come on, hold on, we'll get it. Ah, like I said, it's on my Facebook page. I'll share it. I'll share it in my community tab again, to make a point, you know. So yeah, which I'm like, oh, and I'm not sure if the sequels to the book also have quotes like that as well. I don't know, but that was one of my favorite parts of this book, like the philosophical quotes that that the book would always put in there. I was like, girl. So yeah, I love this book. It's so good. Will I reread it? No. No, I don't want to reread. But yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how, because again, it's like there's a lot of philosophy to do, but I don't think it would be really consumable for it. But I think if anybody were to bring it to life, I think Denis Villeneuve could do it. Let's see. So how is your vision? Yes, I would love to be. Well, there we go. Let's see. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. Like when I ask my patients, so how is vision? Has it changed since your last? How is your vision? Has it changed since your last visit? They answer me, well, you tell me. I'm not a psychic beach. I mean, usually, but yeah, that's that right there. How is your vision? Has it changed since your last visit? I think that right there. Here's the thing: is that over time we become our we become used to how our eyes are looking. I can't tell when my vision changes. It's sort of like you don't really know how your house smells until like a new smell shows up. And even then, that's only momentarily. But if that smell is constantly there and you get used to it, then you're going to get used to it. It's called going nose blind. I think the same thing goes with vision. If you naturally get a little bit blurry eyed more and more slowly over time, you just get used to it, and your brain just automatically doesn't like consider it, and just, but unless it's like super drastic and super fast, then yeah. And I think that's where that's where the confusion might come through in there. But because there's times when where I go through the eye doctors and all that, and they're like, and this last time I went, they're like, your vision has not changed that much. You're kind of at the same place. And then I had to get I got new glasses because it comes with it, and because these are getting worn out. These are still my old ones that I still had that were still good, and they still work. And so when these go kaput, I don't know. When these like break, then I have those new ones that I can finally get into. So yeah, that's how people approach a reading. They just expect us to know what they want the cards to communicate. Yeah. It's like, no, we kind of gotta we calculate, and then we see the results, and then we have to interpret those results. We can't just look at the equation and just call that the end all be all of the answer to it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I don't know. I'm excited to use this deck. I don't know if I'll even be able to read with it, but we'll see. We shall see with this Abstract Futures Tarot. But anyways, so another aspect that I'm thinking of before I get into this is the spiritual woo-woo-ness of this deck. I forgot you weren't here for the beginning, girl. It's coming back in print. It's out of print right now, but there will be another printing soon. So yeah. It's again, it's something I've never really seen in tarot. But again, anyways, sometimes people don't realize that their vision has changed or is due to cataracts. Yeah. But we normally ask them for a chief complaint, so to speak. Yeah. It's like, do you have like itchy eyes or whatever? Or do you feel like you get really, really blurry during or something? Have you noticed some really mad? Yeah. It's, again, I think they just don't understand the question that you're asking. I think that's one of the things. Yeah. Uh, so when getting a reading, how spiritual woo, if you will, do you expect the reading to be conducted? You know, how much of it do you think it should be like? Do you expect it to be ritualized, or are you not really comfortable with that, or what? Because this is another thing that I was thinking of is because there is like I believe in Thelema or Golden Dawn OTO, that family. I'm not. I believe Golden Dawn. I know for sure. I think they have a sort of holy guardian angel for tarot reading or divination, and I think, or maybe it's the Lima. I'm not sure. I think it's either Haru or Iao or something like that. I want the woo. Bring it. I feel like that adds more to the experience. But again, if it's not with your spiritual practice, then I think you might want to look somewhere else. I will say. Let's see. Yeah, I appreciate some of that incorporated into the reading. Woo is good. I think it's more like the ritual is, or the rituals in a way to prepare the space really sets the tone and really gets us into the zone and kind of like distracts us from everything else that's going on outside. It does, it makes us focus in on what the person is doing to prepare the space and set the space. I think that's a good part right there. For that, but again, like I said, Golden Dawn, they'll do a prayer to Iao, I believe. Let me see. I know there's a book here somewhere. Hold on, give me a second here. Is this it? Yes. Let me see here. I think it's here. I don't know where it is, but it's a whole. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we. Oh, okay. It's both. Here we go. In the divine name Iao, Iao, I invoke thee, thou great angel Haru, HRU, who art set over the operations of the secret wisdom. Lay thine hand invisibly on these secret consecrated cards of art, that thereby I may obtain true knowledge of hidden things in the glory of the ineffable name. Amen. And that's usually a prayer. Like I know Mel Meline, when in the podcast, Fortune's Wheelhouse podcast, when they do readings, she will recite that prayer before every reading, I believe. And I think that's one of the set prayers to say in the Golden Dawn tradition, or the Thelema tradition. I can't remember which, but to say, or something in that line. So yeah, I have a few rituals that I do for readings, get me in the headspace. Right. So what do you guys do to set space for readings? Let me make that a banner. Let's see. Let me see. To conduct readings. Let me see. I'm gonna do it like a ticker. Boop. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Let's see. Let's have that the question right there, right here. How do you set space to conduct readings? We're gonna say that. Oh, it's all right, Crystal Raven Rose. Let's see. I love the dancing flame of a candle and some crystals. Okay. Setting some stones out. Yeah. I mean, but isn't that just decoration? When does it go from decoration to actually setting a space? I feel like that area right there. You see where where am I? There we go. That right there, where those stacks of books are. You see that lava lamp, that hourglass, and this. I don't know what this is. Like a weird thermometer thing. I feel like that would be a good place to have a place for making a space for just readings. But I like the convenience of my work table, of this desk that I have here. So yeah, outlined with crystal towers, lots of crystals, the vibrational energy. Let's see. So yeah, again, I think having the right stones having the right, yeah, it's sort of like the same as like, you know, I'm pretty sure there is. I mean, it's a form of natural magic, I guess. When I think of like, there's like a bird in nature that does this mating dance, you know, that'll like clear this whole forest floor area of any debris to make it like a clear, clean dance floor for this bird to dance and perform its mating dance for other birds. And I'm like, huh, how very interesting. It's like, it's interesting to see things like that in nature, you know, particularly with birds of paradise. Those are so fascinating. Sage of Palo Santo to clear the cards. I've chosen. I also ping Tingshas over them to clear the energy through sound. Yeah, I've heard the, what is, are those like weird disc bells that are like on a string? You like, you know, they hit each other and they make a noise. But I will say though, Palo Santo is being over harvested. Sage, white sage in particular, is also being over harvested as well. So if you're gonna use sage or Palo Santo, grow it yourself. But Palo Santo is a wood that needs to be naturally fallen, you know, either by lightning or storms or by nature. It cannot be cut down by hand. And over harvesting, just, you know, yeah, there's no way to do it. There is a farm in, I believe in San Diego, I'm not sure where, that does grow white sage, but it's so difficult to grow in a controlled area that, you know, you have to, you know, that you know, it's very difficult to grow. So keep that in mind, you know. So you know, if you want to be more ecologically conscious, you know. Let's see. I definitely burn incense. If I particularly want to, I will ring a bell. I'm too lazy for anything else. Yeah, let's see. I sometimes sprinkle chosen herbs in a wax to melt. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, the disc bells in yoga. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would do more maybe the bells. Maybe, I'm not sure. Because I do feel like I need to do that. I feel like it would make me slow down, I feel, you know, but again, I'd have to get into the habit of doing that. But, you know, another time, you know. Yeah, I don't plan to buy more sage or Palo Santo. I literally bought what I have years ago. Going forward, I'll use smudge sprays. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, yeah, it's like when I burned the my mom, I think, or my sister, I'm not sure which, with like the best of intentions, they bought me Palo Santo and white sage as a gift, and I said, I said, thank you, but don't unless you know for sure it came from a, you know, from a good source. And for the most part, you know, where they got them from, I'm not sure where they got them from, but yeah, and that's where I'm like, where was this gotten from, you know? But from what I'm like, I have it, might as well use it, you know. You okay, Pickles? Lazy. Look at her. My puppy. Okay. But yeah, it's like what I've burned to use what I used for it, you know. I was like, okay. I mostly did it for the smell, you know. I was like, girl, it smells nice. It smells great. Let's see. Yeah, singing bowls are nice too. That's another thing. But I mean, like, then there's those big ones. No, I think if you just have a small one and you just do a few, you know, like I said, you get into the zone, you set the area, you set the tone, you know. That is the thing. You set the tone, you know, literally, with like singing bowls and bells and whatnot. Yeah, there is a spray that I got that my friend, my tarot godmother, sent me, and I feel like I was like, that kind of might be something. It's like it's like a lemon spray or something that like helps with like opening your intuition, whatever. I don't know, like your third eye or whatever. And when I would spray, I always feel like it like cleared out my sinuses in a weird way. Like it helped me breathe a little bit differently. I don't know. I was like, oh, what is that? And yeah, burning sage gets get your sinuses going. I get too stuffy. Oh, you might be allergic then, you know? I have a small singing bowl. I used to. I should use that more. Great idea, actress. Yeah. I was reading. Where is? Oh, it's in this book here. In the for this deck here. For this one here, the book that came with it, the guidebook, it discusses only one reading spread with it, but with it comes with each section of the cards that you lay out, it comes with like a prayer or something that you say for each direction that you would say. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like, but again, it's not a spiritual practice that I do. It's not a part of a spiritual practice a tradition that I'm a part of. So I wouldn't really feel comfortable saying that, which brings up another thing, it's like, of witnessing a ritual and then co-opting that and appropriating that for your own uses. It's a whole nother thing. Yeah. It is really warm now. I take it back. It's too hot now. So yeah, let's see. What else? What else is there? But yeah, but for the most part, I feel like my approach to readings is very much devoid of the woo-woo and the magical type of mystical approach to things. And I try to take it more of a practical approach. It's really more just, like I said, get in, solve the problem, and get out. But I do that mostly in a way to kind of, and this is another big problem, to sort of validate tarot to skeptics and people who are on the outside of tarot, kind of, again, skeptical or misunderstanding what tarot is. Like for example, the origins of tarot, I usually have to, I'm a big proponent of the actual true, so far what evidence that we have, history of the tarot coming from, Catholic, Christian Italians in the 1400s, 1300s, around there. And its origins stem from a playing card deck from the Mamluks in Egypt. Not necessarily that the Egyptians did that. It's like, again, there's very little of what the Egyptian idea of, like, the hieroglyphs and the gods and all that within the tarot. No, that wasn't what it is. They didn't have the 22 major arcana. 22 major arcana came from Italy, possibly from the Mantegna tarot and the ideas of, and the Neoplatonic ideas that people had at the time, and all that stuff with it. Let's see. I would love to have a convo sometime about that appropriation. Lots of ideas and layers and questions. I've touched on that quite a bit in previous live streams and with other people. I think in the Tarot Tube and Tea live streams, I think we might have touched on it. But yeah, it's like it's gone in many different directions and whatnot with that. So yeah, from Duke Visconti, he that commissioned the Visconti Sforza tarot. There was one other, we're not sure how many cards were in it, that was from 1300s, around like 1390, before the Visconti Sforza, but it's like the Estensi, I believe is what it was called. There's like the Emperor, and I'm not sure which one else. And I know the Emperor is also one of the first major Arcana trump cards that came out, from what I've read from Robert Place's book. So yeah, but it's where I'm like trying to push that in as a counter narrative to the myth that tarot as we know it today came from Atlantis, or it came from Egypt, or it was given, or hell, even Crowley said that that tarot came from Jewish people. Not true, not at all. Yeah. I'm reading Thomas's. Hello, Thomas Ladd. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. It's like this is not this right here. I'm pointing it to it with the mouse. I'm like, oh wait, they can't see that. This right here. My experience with a tarot reader is bad because they said your name starts with an A, B, or C. It's like no, no. As a tarot reader, we're not here to play a guessing game. We're not trying. We're not doing parlor trick. As a fun little mentalist mind psychological trick, like that's a whole nother thing. But you know, for problem solving, all that, it doesn't. Yeah, no. I'm thinking of no, no. That's they tried and failed at a cold reading on you. You know, that's totally not what we're here for. It's like I'm not. We're not here for that. We don't do that. Yeah, it sounds like a bad Vegas act. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, if I wanted to be, if I wanted to go down that route, I would probably go more into. I'd probably try and be more like a David Copperfield or a Chris Angel or a David Blaine. Is that the other guy? Right. You know, illusionists and escape artists and people who, you know, and mentalist tricks and all that. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally, yeah, no. Those are usually the scammers, I feel. And those are, it's like, again, and if they guessed your name right, so what? What did that accomplish? What did we gain from that? You know? Let's see, educating people on tarot, it's sometimes so exhausting. I'm happy it's more out now. For sure, I'm very happy. Like it's growing, but there are still a few people here and there, you know, I'm sure that are still trying to keep it mystical and magical. And it's like, again, for me, it's more like trying to help, again, bring some validity to it. And again, that's where we start to be devoid of the ritual aspect of things, and it'll just take tarot down the line, similar to how we've kind of de-ritualized a lot of the processions that we have here. I think like Joseph Campbell talks about this a lot. I hesitate to say his name because he's fucking weird and he's a little bit cringy, but Jordan Peterson talks about this with like initiation and all that in different ways. And it's this person again. I'm not trolling, dude, but then they said you experienced something bad in your life. I felt it was no, I'm not thinking you're trolling. But then they said you experienced something bad in your life. Like I felt like saying, like, no shit, yeah, again, everyone has experienced something bad in their life. Like, give it 5 years, you know, and you're gonna have had, you know, experienced something bad in your life. Like everybody has, you know. Oh, the cards show me that you've had great success in your life. Yeah, it's the same here. You know, great things have. It's again, it's not. It's not. That's not the point. Again, yeah, you've experienced something bad in your life. Did that reader also ask you, you know, also like say like, how do you navigate through that? How do you navigate through that? Do you need more services to process through this, you know, bad thing in your life? This could be very, you know, is it just like, oh, you stubbed your toe in the morning, or or you got rear-ended, or did something traumatic happen to you? And in that case, you know, then that is something else entirely, and you should, you know, go see a therapist, you know. It's just, you know, and so I think the bad always makes it challenging in any occupation, craft, etc. People are quick to judge and keep blinders on. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That is not a good reader. That is not the purpose of a reading. That is not what you should go to a reader for. That's not the point of it. You know, I've seen a lot. I got bored and I went on YouTube and I saw a few videos talking about like, are tarot readers real or like legit or whatever? And I saw that, I'm like, half of the time I'm like, that's not really the most practical and very useful way to approach getting a tarot reading, you know. But yeah, but anyways, ritual and setting space for tarot to conduct a reading, though, back on that. I need water. Oh my god, I'm out of water. I see my cup all the way over there. It's low on water. I will say one thing. back onto this topic of setting a space and getting all that. You know, it's been a thing to where whenever I get the urge to do live readings, most of the times I'm pretty sure there's been moments when, you know, I don't line up and I don't match up with that. But my friend Lucy always pointed this out during this, just recently, and when I was living with my sister for a while, I would always go live during like one of the equinoxes or what is it, equinox or solstice, or when there was a full moon or a new moon. I wasn't even trying. I don't keep track of that stuff, but I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go live. And it just lined up and I'm like, okay. But it's like, I think, should that be also timing, you know, is timing another thing, you know, that you allow for specific readings, you know? This is so wise, like you kids get it. Yeah, we try, like I said. At least I try. I need to go get water. I can tell you're a busy person because I can see the whiteboard in the background. No. I'm not a busy person at all. I always say, I said this before, I just have I have too much free time in my hands. Really. I really not that busy. Really not that busy. Well, kind of am, but not really. No, I'm really not that busy. No, there are like 20 other people out there that are probably way busier than me, but you know, I would not consider myself busy. That whiteboard right there is just a list of decks right there that you see written on there that I'm waiting for. I'm just keeping track of, and I'm like, okay, these are the decks that are in production and should be on their way to me soon. I'm just making sure I'm, you know, getting what I paid for and I don't forget any, you know. That's what that whiteboard's mostly for. But I hope to use the whiteboard for my video series, hopefully, if I can maybe find a way to utilize it. If not, I'll probably move it out and probably cover that wall in bookshelves. So yeah, let me go get some water. And while I get water, I'll probably try and think of other topics to touch on. So yeah, answer after you get your water. Yes, I will. I'm back. Was that too long? That probably didn't even take a minute. Okay, for a second I knew I didn't turn off my mic, but I was like, wait, did I? And I was just talking right now. I was like, imagine. And it turned off mic. Okay, much better. Okay, so what decks are you waiting for? Well, I was waiting on this one. I was like, girl, I was getting a little worried. It didn't sound like a tracking number or anything, but I got it. And I kept seeing people get their copies, and I was like, girl, where's mine? That's one of them. The Somnia Tarot that's been shipped out. I got the tracking number on that. And then the Outsider Tarot. Let me actually share these so you guys know. Let me see here. Somnia. Look at that. Somnia Tarot. I even spelled Somnia wrong. Here, let me go here. Copy. So I'm waiting for this. This just got shipped out, the Somnia Tarot. And then... Nope. I should go on this. There we go. Outsider Tarot. Also waiting on this one, the Outsider Tarot. Oh, I can book a reading with them. Let me see here. Let me go to the store. Maybe I can. Yeah. Yeah, here, I'll share it here. Don't you hate that? Like, I hope mine didn't get lost. Yeah, it's like... But rarely, if ever, has that ever happened to me with a tarot deck. Only when I was shipping out a deck, and that's because they didn't package the deck right. Roots of Asia Apocalypse 2020, I believe. Or was it 2021? I can't remember when I shipped that out. But yeah, it was... But I was like, no, I'll probably get it soon. Hopefully, you know. And yeah, and then I got it. Today, of all things, I was like... And in the back of my mind, I was like, what if today's the day? I got it today. And then I got the Spirit Keeper's Tarot on its way to me as well. We all know of her. Well, I don't know. Majority of us know of her. Spirit Keepers. Come on. Come on. There we go. Spirit Keepers. Tarot. And then, yeah, Revelation Edition. I got that coming in. What else? What else do I have? The Nameless one is another one that's on its way. I could have had it so that I could have gotten the deck and then the book later, but I was like, nope, I want the book and the deck. Wait a minute, what is this? Wait a minute, what is this? Hold on, this is totally not the deck, but this is something else. Is this? Is that? She did. I did not know she did. And she don't advertise it. She don't advertise it. Girl. She illustrated. Is it a book or is it a graphic novel? So Alexandria Huntington, or Gia Hunt, the creator of the Nameless One and the oh my gosh, Children of Litha, she illustrated the Dark Crystal graphic novel or book cover. I don't know. I'm like, wait, is that her? And it said Alexandria Huntington. I'm like, girl. There's no such thing as a stupid question. And honestly, tons of people do tarot readings on stream. I'm pretty sure there's even Twitch channels that are starting to do tarot readings on stream. I think Danica XIX or Danica 19, she did a reading on she did a few streams with doing tarot readings. I do tarot readings on live sometimes. I haven't done it recently. Tarot Oracle is another good one. He does live streams every day. There's quite a few others, many others. Yeah. I'm getting the Halloween tarot. I finally ordered it. It's like, and girl, right now is the time. There's been an influx of decks coming through in autumn. It's the time of the year when people get woo woo and people get witchy, you know. Thomas, If there's any, think of any theme or word or noun, think of any noun and put tarot at the end of it, it probably exists. At this point, yeah. I love Benabel and I think her art is beautiful, but I can't use her decks. They overwhelm me. I will say that is one thing that I do think about, that I have thought in the back of my head, looking at the imagery for the Revelation edition, is we have these well, these great backgrounds. That, like, you have this beautiful aurora borealis and this ocean and this beach here, but most of it is covered by a lot of what's going on in the foreground. You get these beautiful architectural imagery in the background, but then it gets covered by the people in the front, and it's quite unfortunate. I was like, I want to see a clear view of everything, but it's like, I guess it needs something else, like is this one? Yeah, like, I'm not sure. I'm trying to find other good examples here. Let me go through here. That's one criticism that I have of this style. Like, I wish there were more of the backgrounds. I believe it's like this, right? Yeah, I wish the backgrounds were more like this. More landscapey, not so much going on, because in other cards it's like these beautiful like architectural buildings, that I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Yeah, like here we have the Five of Wands, and you see like how it's quite busy, and the background, I'm like, oh, I quite like the background. It's like, whoa, look at that. I think that's so cool. And then, but it's like it's so covered by everything. I think that's one of the weak points here on this deck. But yeah, and I have really yet to really go through the deck and really experience the deck and work with the deck, particularly this one. Yeah, it's one I don't really reach for and work with, but I do have it just out of support for Benabel. So yeah, let's see. Hello, Hopeful Soul 72. I just wanted to pop in and say hi to answer your question. I expect honesty when I get a tarot reading. The truth serves as confirmation for me. Love the braids, by the way. Thank you, Hopeful Soul. Yeah, okay. Honesty, I guess that's true. Yeah, if because there's several times, well, no, not necessarily like dishonesty on my part, but more like when I go through a reading and things aren't really going well, or like readings are getting a little bit honesty in there is where it's like the cards, I'm just not getting much here. My brain isn't in the right space. This is where you set the tone for yourself in a way. And that type of honesty is like, being able to be authentic and honest in that moment of saying like, well, right now I can't really answer because I'm trying to see what these cards are trying to tell me. And there's been plenty of times where that happens for me. And sometimes I like push through it and kind of BS my way through it. And I shouldn't. And then later on throughout the day, even like after I turn off the stream and I go and I wake up in the next morning and I'm like making my coffee and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, that's what it means. And sometimes that happens even when I do a good reading. I'll be like doing a good reading and the answer is clear and concise. And then I go home and then I go off and then I again go off and do something else. And I'm thinking, and in the back of my head, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, this could have also been, the cards could have actually been saying this. But in the time of the reading, that wasn't the answer that I was getting. So yeah. Hello, Kitty Flowers. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Did I miss anything? No. Okay. Let's see. Seriously, I actually didn't know that. I'm shocked, also interested, but who would want a Halloween tarot reading? I would be freaked out. I mean, it's a lot of people consider this time to be like the thinning of the veil, and a lot of it is more mediumship and all that. And again, here's the thing. If you're not comfortable with like readings in contacting the dead, I'm not very comfortable with practicing mediumship or anything like that. Not for me, not my flavor, not what I'm here for. I don't do that. This is what I'm talking about. Like how woo, how magical, mystical, out there do you want it? You know. Um so yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Wait, what? So what were you just saying while looking at Benabel's page? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. In terms of the book, so yeah. So Halloween reading doesn't mean someone at night is going to kill you. No. No. Unless you mean like Michael Myers types of reading. Has anyone done a horror movie tarot deck? I would love to see it. Someone tried doing a serial killer tarot deck, and I was like, girl. As a collector's piece for people who are into true crime and not really into using for tarot, maybe? But no, and I think the project was canceled or it went to it went to a print on demand thing. I'm not sure, but again, for like I said, horror movie, I would love to see that. Yeah, Michael Myers or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Michael Myers. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was like a fever dream of a slasher movie. I was like, I was probably talking more on what right here. What you were all like, wait, what? I was talking more on probably not on the book, but more on what the chat was saying. I'm trying to read chat because I was distracted looking through the book. So yeah, I wasn't I wasn't reading anything from the book. So yeah. Let's see. Oh yes, there are limits. I just don't like sugarcoating. Provides opportunities for growth. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think we all have intuition. Absolutely, yeah. When someone seeks out a reader, deep down they know the answer. A lot of the times it is. It's like it's like the classic like, is he cheating on me type of one. It's like you already know the answer to that if you're asking. The lack of trust is already lost because you're already questioning, and that's a whole thing you're gonna have to work through. But no, usually a Halloween reading isn't that. It's usually because everybody kind of associates the magical and the woo more during this time when the nights are getting longer and it's getting colder and it's like the mood is being set. It's very much into that mystical, darker woo stuff. If you have to add, yeah, Michael Myers for sure. Yes. Yeah, but I mean Texas Chainsaw Massacre, fever dream, like nightmare fuel, but for some reason Halloween it just hit differently. And it's like I remember watching it even after like much, because obviously when it came out I wasn't born yet. But by the time I watched it, I was like, how old was I when I watched Halloween? I was probably like, was I 20? I don't know. It wasn't super long ago. I wasn't super young, but when I watched that, I was like, oh, it's still pretty effective. It's a good slasher movie. Let's see. The one thing I don't like, you mentioned about people talking to the dead, and a lot of that can be far fetched just for money. If you know what oh. Absolutely. Yeah. Same thing as with the cold reading and the psych is just guessing. It's like, for me, it's more like we know so little about the afterlife and what happens to the dead or what those energies are. If we're going to buy into this stuff, into contacting the dead, would not, it's again, it's sort of like, playing with uranium when we barely understand what fire is. You know what I mean? So yeah, just in my book, don't play or mess around with things we don't fully understand. I wouldn't want the energy of a serial killer tarot deck near me. Hell no. Yeah, especially if that's the type, and if you're very, if you're into that and you're very synchronized with that. Yeah. That's another thing. It's like, are you exploiting? That's a whole nother thing. It's how are you going to approach that? Can you, working through grief, that's more for a therapist or a counselor to work through with you. And if that counselor or therapist works with tarot and they're, in a, more grounded, realistic way, in a healthy way that they know it's not going to like, mess up their clients and lead them down a bad path, then yeah, for sure they can, they can totally use that. It's thundering and raining right now. I'm gonna quickly light some candles. It's Minnesota. It's midnight, so so it will stop in. Or wait, it's MN Minnesota. Well, send it over here. We need it. But almost any reading is explaining some kind of loss. That's true. It's like, I guess so, in a way. I'll have to look into that. Readings exploiting some kind of loss. Yeah. I love this deck. I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got this. This is cool. But anyways, what else? What was the next thing that we were gonna do? Yeah, that's. I'm like, I feel like that's a whole thing that we can get into. As Hopeful Soul is asking, how? I feel like I'd have to think. Yeah, I'd have to think of something like exploding, like a loss of a relationship or loss of love. But if you haven't been in a relationship for a while, you're kind of at peace with that, and now you're like ready to move on. And you're asking the cards, how can I get get into, where should how should I approach finding a new partner? Yeah. I think it depends more. We're gonna get into now exploiting loss and tarot. Let's see. There was a show on the UK. A guy spoke to dead spirits and everyone loved him, but he got caught out because the show made up a story and the guy was still going with the story. Yeah. I think I remember this. Where was it? Oh man, who was it? I think I saw this on a video commentary channel. I think it was either Drew Gooden or Danny Gonzalez on YouTube that might have shown that, or maybe Cody Co. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who, but they did, like, they talked about that. I'm like, a lot of these people have been. I think it was Drew Gooden, where he like goes through a lot of shows like that, and a lot of the times these mediums and these big popular psychics are exposed, and yet they still kind of continue to garner followings and popularity, and they still get work, and they're not canceled. Yeah, let's see. I haven't gotten a reading with loss in mind. I wanted guidance more than anything else. I think that, yeah, it's like, what I would like more clarity on this. Explain further. If you can in the chat, if you can fit it in the chat, because again, I need a financial tarot reading. I'm not poor. I'm not rich. I just worry a lot. I think that's where it's kind of, yeah. I mean, Oh wait, no, you're just saying I need a financial tarot reading. I'm not poor. I'm not rich. I just worry a lot. And again, I'm pretty sure there's practical ways, actual like professional financial advisors, that will give you probably more practical advice. And the cards will probably bring up like cards that will indicate that to help you get, to help you with that, and to better, manage your money better. But some of it is more like, personal habits that you can change, to save money here and there, or have a safety net, when you need it, because it is true what they say. It's more expensive to be poor than it is to be rich. And that's that on that. Because I will say, grab some wine, yeah. Derek Acora, right? Yeah, the psychic exposes Derek Acora, and this is where I always see those shows where they expose him, or those exposés, interviews where like there was a woman psychic in the U.S. where she would use her psychic abilities to find or solve unsolved cases, and like one of the lady that was interviewing, the news reporter that was interviewing her, she's like, well, we told you this picture was of a girl that went missing, and you said that she was murdered. And she's like, well, this girl was me, and that never happened to me. And it's like, it was like, you never went missing? And she's like, no. I'm like maybe at Walmart, but he's dead now. Oh, R.I.P. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Nope. Damn. Ten seconds behind. I got him, I think. I got him through StreamYard, so if you guys hammered him in YouTube, I don't know. I think Queen of Shovels, I think Christy's a moderator, I believe. Like, I just... What even is alive without a troll? It's not alive. No, I mean, recently I haven't had one of them for a while, though I haven't been going live for a while as well. So yeah. No. It can be like a helping side, but no, I do not recommend tarot as something that will absolutely help change that. It's again, I recommend going to a mental health expert, be that psychiatrist, psychologist, no, psychiatrist or therapist or counselor, who's more experienced in helping people with mental health issues, rather than a tarot reader, because again, sometimes it can get pretty messy. I have had one person come on, and was, they were suicidal, and that was like, whoa. I'm like, okay, hold on, here's the suicidal prevention hotline, please find a different therapist if the one that you go to isn't helping. And so yeah, still not seeing my name in blue. Weird. Are you not a moderator? Weird. Maybe because your name is different. Here, let me see. I'm gonna have to go to my YouTube channel. I could have sworn I had you as a moderator. I could have sworn. Let me see. Oh yeah, no. I don't have a moderator here. I totally missed this chat here that you showed here. Oh my gosh, I really should have chat open on. There we go. Here. Yeah, I could have removed you as a mod. I'm gonna make you a moderator. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, dude, you read my question wrong. Someone who is diagnosed with depression can get a tarot reading and see if they can get better. Oh, I see what you mean now. I mean, it's like that right there is it's much like the. Oh, man, it's a good example of that. I'd have to try that, but yeah, okay. So can they get a tarot and see if things can get better? Again, that is very much a like almost with any like illness, that you're gonna get, like if someone with cancer were to come to you and say, am I gonna get better? The cards can say yes, or the cards can indicate no. But again, we may have a glimpse of that concept. Like I don't know if you were here when I read out from that quote from Dune. It's like, again, we have vision, but we're in a valley. You know, we can see, but our vision is limited. You know, looking to the future is like looking in a valley. We don't see the whole landscape, you know. The mountains are surrounding and blocking everything, but we can get a general view of what's closer to us. So yeah. Uh, yeah. No. It's fine. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. That is actually a very good question because, again, that is something that I'm pretty sure people will come to readers and ask. And it's like, will a reader? How is that reader going to say that? And, you know, and are they going to take their money? Like Tarot Bastard said here, right? Is that his name? Yeah, the Tarot Bastard, Bradicadabra, where he said exploitation. You know, exploiting that. Is a reader going to exploit that? For me, I would definitely be like, well, I'm not the one to say. I think it's really a lifelong journey to deal and work with that. You know, it's sort of like with, I believe, like with addiction. Uh, you know, you're always going to be an addict. You know, so they say. So they say. I have no experience with that, but from what I've heard, you know, you're always an addict. You know, you know, if you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. You're just sober. You know, um, and I think the same goes for like depression or anxiety and all that. I'm not sure if anyone's ever been like fully 100% cured of things like that, because anxiety and depression are, you know, things that we experience in the day-to-day life in one degree or in very severe degrees. And so again, if you have anxiety, it's like it kind of shows that you're you know, that's one of the key ways to know you're not a psychopath or a sociopath if you don't if you have anxiety of things, you know. Yeah. I hear my other dog crying outside. He wants to come inside. Let's see. You have heard correct. My son will always be. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Let me let my dog in because he's gonna keep crying and then it's gonna annoy my mom. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I was thinking of this one thing. Uh True. You see, yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy, I think is what you're talking about here, right? Uh yeah, people will take a reading as subconscious commands and secretly force the reading to happen. They'll break a leg within a year, then they do, or then they trio. Wow, he's a psychic. He created the mind program. Yeah. How's Pickles? Pickles is good. She's back on her phenobarbital medication. Had a girl come to me, pregnant, who had been told she'd lose her first baby. She was so upset it almost came true. Yeah, it's like, again, self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, if you tell someone that, if you do a reading for someone, it's like, oh, you will be cured of your mental illness or whatever, and then they stop doing what's actually, then they're like, oh, I'm gonna be cured. I don't have to do this stuff, and then it gets worse, you know, or they say no, you don't, and then they just get in the depressive state and they just give up on it and they just don't take their medicine and they don't do what, you know, their therapist or doctor is telling them to do to keep them healthy mentally, you know. Hold on. And honestly, most of the people who are into tarot and are doing tarot readings or collecting tarot or working with tarot, from the few experiences that I've witnessed here online and the things that people have said and commented online in the tarot spheres, do not go to them for mental health. They know very little in general about it, unless they are people who themselves, uh, you know, live with, mental illness. They're people who are not neurotypical, or people who actually do work with, or do work in treating people who are not neurotypical. I believe the term is. I could be wrong. See the dog. That will be on my Patreon. At the $1 subscription or more, you can subscribe in the description down below. Yeah, people come to us often in receptive damage states, easily suggestible. Yeah, there's been times where I see some of the things that people tell in my live streams, and I'm like, and I have to like put like disclaimer, like, you know. Exploitative tarot frauds, they can kill people for sure, and this is part of why I'm like asking this. It's like, what is the standards that we're setting ourselves, even for people who don't have that, who aren't mentally ill. Again, I'm not sure what it's like, because again, I've like how I've heard the tarot sphere talk about mental illness. It's like they get a lot of shit asked backwards. They think they really don't know how to talk about it, and they really don't know how to process that. So it's like, again, if you are someone with that is struggling with like a chronic depression or extreme anxiety or any other mental illness, I would highly recommend looking for a tarot reader with a background in I believe psychotherapy. I need to really set these definitions down and be like, psychotherapy, psychiatry, psychology, therapy, counseling, all that stuff, with a background in that, and again, I've talked about this with my friend Annika, and she herself worked as a forensic psychologist. I could be wrong on that, but again, criminology, or like, in with the police and psychologist. She was a psychologist for that, for I believe for the victims of crimes. I believe, I could be wrong. I need to check. I need to fact check that. But the point is that we talked about, like, okay, if you are going to be working with mental health and tarot, it's the cake and the frosting. Tarot has to be the frosting, and you can't just have the frosting. Honestly, I prefer the cake. When I get a birthday cake, I prefer the bread part. I fucking hate frosting. It's too sweet. It's way too much. if there's a good frosting that works well with the cake, it's like maybe, but for the most part, it's way too sugary sweet. Even when I was a little kid, and as a kid, I would like love candy and sweets like any other kid. But for some reason, birthday cake frosting, that shit gave me headaches. It was disgusting, but I still ate it, you know. I was like, why is it so gross? But I should like it because it's birthday cake, you know. uh, like I said in my last message, you're genuine. I try to be. I always say I try to be. My wife is a psych nurse. Do not talk or give readings to mentally ill. If she's just one wrong word and you can it was very for sure. That one time, I only once, and I still I'm like, whoa. That one time when I had that one person who was suicidal, I was like, girl. Counseling, at least, same. I was going to college to become a psychologist, but my first ex-husband said psychology was a bunch of Bible. Girl, what? Oh, no. I'm about to remove this moderator. I'm just kidding. I missed that. I missed your comment here. I missed a bunch. Let me see here. Gas. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Deaf question. Okay. Correct. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Oh, what is this? What is this? What is this weird thing? I'm on YouTube right now. I'm like, what? What? What is that? Do all of them have that? No. Weird. No. What? What is this? What? This is weird. I'm looking at this. There's this little gray bar or something that's showing up on the chat on YouTube. I don't know if you guys can see that. Anyways, what I like about you, dude, or you're passionate what you do and giving advice on tarot about fake and real tarot. Well done on the work you do, and don't ever change. You give great advice. Oh, thank you. I try, and that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to work on. But yeah, like I said, that's one of the things that with the topic of this. You know, what do you expect from a tarot reader? Is where it's like, okay, it's tarot reading, and being a tarot reader is very unregulated. You know. You know, it's extremely unregulated, so you're not sure if you're getting, you know, a certified or a genuine one, you know. And there's all these like schools or courses on tarot that you can get a certificate that you'd be like, oh, certified, you know, has completed the course in tarot and this, that. And it's like, it's pretty much very much the Wild West. And and asking these types of things and bringing this stuff up, a lot of people will cry out gatekeeping, or saying like, I'm just being authentic and you're not allowing me to be. I'm like, girl, I'm just putting it out there. Like, go ahead, keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Go ahead, keep reading for those mentally ill patients, but don't come crying to me when you get sued, you know? Let's see. I see all of these things are what I think about when trying to decide to read for others. We don't really talk about ethics and readings. Yeah. And this is where I believe it was Crystal Ravenrose or someone else. Let me see. Or Hopeful Soul? No. Let me see up here. Espacia Rising, I believe it was, where they talked about talking to the people beforehand, before you even ask the question or ask what the question is, or before you receive the question that is the focus of the reading. You talk to the people, you get a little bit of a back and forth, you know, and you get a feel of a slight idea of how they are or who they are. And let me tell you, once, like, if you know that they're a little bit mental, they're not, you know, I've been watching this guy react to like movies and TV shows and horror movies and all that, and he's like, you know, the lights are on but nobody's home, you know, once you know something's not right, then you have to learn to like take yourself out of it and be like, well, actually something's come up, I can't schedule a reading with you right now. And then that's when you don't do the reading, and you know, you don't do that, you know. Let's see. Did you ever get weird encounters with tarot before even knowing about it all? No. Could you? Well, I mean, could you clarify what exactly you mean by weird encounters with tarot? Because I've seen it like in media and in, like, you know, like in movies and TV shows, but other than like actually working with tarot or interacting with tarot itself, I've never really gotten any readings until I've bought my first tarot deck. Like I can like count on one hand how many times I've gotten a reading from someone else. It's not something I usually do, unless that's what you mean, you know. Yeah, did you get a reading? No, I've never gotten a tarot reading. No, I've only ever given readings to people. Sometimes I think it would be good to hear about the story that made you not want to do health readings or similar things. Maybe it would cause others to think about why they are reading. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, again, learn from others' mistakes. It's, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know, a testimonial of sorts of like saying like, here I was doing all this stuff, but here I was doing all these readings for health and mental health and all that, and I thought I was the shit. And then all of a sudden it comes and backfires on you, and you actually led to more harm and damage to people, and you led people down the wrong path, you know. And it's like, as I always say, predicting the future really isn't that helpful, but it is also very dangerous because, again, it's like either you predict, again, to lead back to what Dune is saying, you know, you predict the future. You can't really play it safe because that leads to stagnation, but you also can't be too reckless and, you know, and careless, because then that's going to be, you know, and especially when it comes to others. If it's for yourself, for sure, and you know your boundaries and you know what you can tolerate and what you can handle, and yeah, you know, then go on, do what you can, do what you want. It shall be the will of Allah. It shall be the law of the, I don't know, love under law. Love under will or something. Something thelemic is going on there. What's that quote again? Yeah. Well, not really. You know, tarot readings really aren't that scary. You know, it's really more like, again, it depends on how serious the question is, you know, and what you're asking, you know. Like I said, if someone's unstable, then obviously, you know, you have to take the professional steps to make sure that you point them in the right direction and not, you know, encourage and enable. Oh my God. Again, my God. There we go. Got him. Yeah, not scary. Just don't inquire about what you don't want to address. Yeah, and it's like, and it's as simple as, because again, tarot reading will bring up shit that you may not want exposed. And again, as a professional, you do have to be saying, you do have to make sure to say, you know, the querent has to have some agency in what they want. You know, it's like, actually, I'm not really comfortable talking about that right now, you know, or whatever, you know, and you have to respect that as a reader, you know, because like I said, it happened to me where I was doing a reading and I was talking and I was throwing, you know, and I was saying all this shit. I literally said, when I pulled all the cards, I said, girl, what did you do? To this person who was getting a reading, and they literally said, I knew this was gonna happen. And it turns out that the person of interest that I was doing the reading on was dead. So I was unintentionally doing a reading on someone that passed on, and that was a violation of my ethics and my boundaries. I was on the querent trying to trick me and do a reading for them, and it's like, girl, they really needed to learn to let go of their dead loved one, you know. Let's see. Girl, now we're getting into a whole nother thing. Another daft question. Can tarot be a part of black magic? I don't believe in black magic. I think that's what you call it. Has anyone got aggressive with you about a reading? A few times, yeah. Usually it's like through miscommunications. Like I said, like how many times I've like misread your questions, but you know, I was able to get to when to explained. I was able to be like, oh yes, there you go. But yeah, not too much. Not too much. I think one person got a little annoyed and didn't really understand that I was doing it for free and that it was a live public reading, so anyone could watch and actually comment on the reading that they were doing, that I was doing for them. So their question was out in the public and actually was pre-recorded, was being recorded and would have been uploaded public for anyone to see. I would read out the questions out loud, so they really would, like privacy was not a thing I could offer with these live stream readings, and they didn't, and that person couldn't really understand that in a way. But really not too many that I can think of. But yeah, there have been times. But back to this though. First of all, what people consider black magic, and because it's like there's black magic and then there's white magic, and then there's low magic, high magic, and then there's like the left hand path and the right hand path, and it's like there's a lot to it. I'm not well versed in describing what magic is, but to keep it brief, again, what that damn quote from Crowley, I thought I need to memorize it. It's essentially like magic can be almost really anything, but it can be if someone puts it in their magical practice, whether that be a high magic or ceremonial magic or whatever. Usually it's used in ceremonial magic. Then for sure, I would, if I'm not, like I said, I'm not well versed or able to give a good solid like little TED talk on this question. So I would rather point you to a channel that would probably answer your question on that. And first you'd have to understand what you actually say when you say black magic or magic itself. I'd recommend the channel Dennis Poisson, Foolish Fish, here on YouTube. He does a lot of book reviews on a lot of magical books and all that, but he has a series called Esoteric Saturdays, I believe, and there he talks a lot about explains about like magic and even like working with spirits and demons and shit like that. And he really does like clear it all out and give a good explanation and be like, oh, okay. Because again, when you're saying black magic, are you thinking of like what you've seen in like horror movies, or like what has been or the lies that have been put out by the Satanic Panic? And that's a whole nother thing, so I would recommend that. Let me actually find that channel so I can share it here. Foolish, look at that fish. Here we go. Copy. Go here. Paste. So yeah, I recommend this channel here to get into that, because again, yeah. But to answer your question though, really, yeah, tarot can be used for anything, and as a part of like black magic, whatever that means to you, I guess, yeah. Gotta run. You mentioned you might like to see the deck I'm creating. Would love to see your feedback on my Instagram. All right, I'll check it out if I can. Yeah. Here's some of his quotes. Oh, I can't. Oh, wait. And I'm not really necessarily looking for a quote because he has plenty of those. What I'm looking for is his definition or writing on it. Let me see. The poet, one would go mad amid the new year, having to talk to straight but I stopped with what is this? And the corpse of my eye, the sin, which it was how it will. Yeah. Here it is. Yeah. Magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. That's yeah. So again, you want the art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. So again, honestly, if we're taking that in its most basic form, it automatically hides it because of the name. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's damn it, I just forgot it. So that's what Crowley says what magic is. Yeah, yes, just found it when you did. Yeah. Um, let me get that and actually copy it if I can. No, I can't. Oh, here it is. Let's see. StreamYard, here we go. Let me look at this. For example, I experienced sleep paralysis for years and years, and I swear to God that stuff looks real, like a demon figure strangling me. And it's like one day he will eventually win. Usually that's, that's really nothing really magical or mystical or anything. That's usually more, more a mental thing. Sleep paralysis is a very common thing, it's a very common thing seen, many people experience sleep paralysis, and nothing's magical like that. Sometimes they see a demon, like an incubus, the iconic incubus sitting on top of your chest. Other people see a very old hag, but that's usually probably more in the line of Jung or Freud. I would say Jung in his dream analysis, and what it means when you see that, when you're having like a waking dream or something like that, but I'm pretty sure there's ways to I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not. No, wait a minute. I'm not a sleep paralysis expert. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. But yeah, no. Because it usually feels like you can't move, you can't scream, but you see these horrible things. Yeah. That's usually not magic or anyone cursing you or anything, if that's what you're thinking. It's not. That's usually not an act of black magic. And usually, I'm not sure if there's ways to prevent that. Yeah. Sorry for talking. Oh no! That keep the topics rolling. Because eventually, again, you think I come prepared for this? Again, I just, you're very lucky to see this, that there is a topic. What do you expect from tarot, from tarot readings, or from a tarot reader? And no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's happened to me before. Sleep paralysis. Thankfully, I've never had it happen to me. But I remember when I was little, I used to have so many nightmares for some reason. Now I don't. Now they're just weird dreams, which, let's be real, all dreams are weird. But sleep paralysis sounds horrifying. Let's see. Do you practice with the cards? How do you mean practice? Like magic practice, or like just practice reading with the cards? Because I usually do practice readings. I usually do readings weekly when I get in the mood for it. I like readings. Yeah. I mean, it's not really practice. It's more like just doing it. You practice as you do it, and you do it as you practice. You know what I mean? You get more used to it, the more you do it. But yeah, I totally do. Because again, it's like you can study as much as you want, read all the books on it, but you really got to learn to actually implement what you've learned, and what it's like to actually conduct a reading. It's very different from just reading the meaning of the 78 cards, I love this deck. I told you that. I love how it came out. And the gilding is actually holding up pretty well. Okay, I think I know who published this deck, by the way. I'm still on this. Because I'm shuffling it, I'm just like, wait. There was a deck called the Shadowlight Tarot, I believe it's called. It's a black and white deck. And it was published, and the cardstock is very similar to that. It's like a dense feeling type of cardstock, and the lamination finish is the same. Yeah, lamination, yes. But the silver gilding, I remember it was very glittery, and I thought it would wear out, and it is this like dusty looking gilt silver edging. It's very similar. So I think the same printer, but I don't know. Anyways. Let's see. I've also had dreams about dead loved ones, and I knew it was a dream. And I remember saying, "I miss you," and they cuddled me, and they said everything is going to be okay. I woke up with tears. I was like, "Wow!" You see, that right there, I think is like that right there. I feel like is like a healthy way to work through grief. Just and you really don't even have to like read too deep into that. It's just merely the mere experience of that. Alone is, like some sort of like closure in a way with yourself. You're very lucky that you've had a dream like that. Most of the time, people, I feel like a majority of the time it's seen that dreams of dead loved ones. I feel like maybe aren't like that. Or am I wrong? Who here has dreamed of dead loved ones? Thomas, it happens. Oh, look at that, Crystal River. Never mind. I've been proven wrong. I know for me, my loved ones are visiting me in my dreams. Yeah. Oh! I felt like it was a sign. I mean, sure, I guess. There's something. There's a quote. It's like anything is a sign, or something. I can't remember what. My father and grandparents are always in my dreams. Yeah. Tarot Meditations by Anonymous. Valentine Tomberg, I believe, was the Catholic priest's name that wrote that book. Writes on the death card that dreams and memory is a form, not dreams necessarily, but memory, and sleeping and waking is in itself a form of death, where you essentially turn off in a way and then you turn back on. It's a form of resurrection. You wake up again, remembering of something you've forgotten. When something is forgotten, it's dead. But when you wake up and you remember this thing, when you remember something, it's resurrected and it's come back to life. That's I always remember that when it comes to like memories and dreams and past loved ones and all that. So in a way, it's like when you dream of them and when you remember them, you're keeping them alive in a way, in a healthy way, I feel. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I will say that, just because it was a dream doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't real. As Dumbledore once said to Harry Potter, just because it's happening in your head doesn't mean it's not real. You know what I mean? Oh. I'm like driving. Wait a minute. We got her. Get her. I'm just kidding. No. Let's see. The thing was, that day I woke up, I went to my work, and I was happy all day. I'm never happy at work. And I mean, it's girl. I'm like, this way out of my league of expertise. But yeah, that's good though. It's like, that it keeps you going. To find that thing that keeps you going. That's good. Let's see. My dad came to me twice saying he was okay now and not sick anymore. It was so real. Yeah, I really gotta read Jung's book on dreams and all that shit, and his take on that. And on the subconscious and all that, and dream interpretation in his way, because he has a way of like saying like, here's what dreams are like. It should be interpreted like, here's the best way to interpret them, or how you should read the signs that your brain is telling you through your dreams. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because again, a lot of people think their dreams are telling them one thing, and then I read Jung and I was like, oh, maybe not. But I'm not really big into dream interpretation. I would like to learn, but yeah. For a blue lagoon and be right back. All right, Thomas lad, you go get yourself a blue lagoon. And let's see what else people say. So yeah, we did kind of get a little bit off topic on what we expect from readers, but I feel like we kind of discussed enough, and I kind of got an idea of what I should be approaching at. So yeah. Oh, and it's 2 a.m. in Scotland. Sir, go to bed. It's sir, and he's Scottish though. Oh, moving on. uh, it's late. It's 6 p.m. here, and I've been on for 2.5 hours. I feel like we've discussed enough. I feel like we've gotten through what we need to do. So yeah. Oh, a holiday. Okay, work. So any reason why you haven't gotten a reading? For the most part, I really don't have that. I really don't feel that much of a use for it. You know, it's sort of like when people, it's sort of like praying. You know, people are like, in times of crisis or when the shit hits the fan, they pray or they go get a reading or they go do something to try and like resolve whatever crisis they're in. You know, I've never been in those moments too much, I feel, or when I am, I think I deal with them differently. My first instinct isn't to do that, I feel. But I haven't really thought of, you know, paying to get a reading, and, you know, because I feel like, I don't know why. I guess, like I said, Capricorn moon, I need to be a little more I'm more practical than I feel. And I feel like tarot isn't really that practical of a tool to get advice from and guidance from things that, you know, I may need to maneuver in my life. I guess I haven't been in those moments. You know, I feel like if there's anyone that I need advice from, I'd go to my mother, because usually she's the one that keeps everything running in this house, because yeah. So for sure, yeah. Oh, look at that. I found out through ancestry that I'm more Scottish than anything else. Look at that. Maybe you're related to Thomas Ladd. Well, I don't know if Thomas Ladd actually was born and raised in Scotland. I don't know if it, you know, who knows. It's freezing over here anyways. I'm away to pour a drink. Live this, love this channel, I'm assuming. Live this channel. Wow. Don't forget your Aries traits. I feel like it's also oh, and he's an Aries, born in 88. Let's see. I was just curious. I like seeing others' reading styles, so it is in the back of my head, in the back of my mind sometimes, and that's partially one reason why I want to go do that, and I want to see how people do readings and conduct readings, and I want to see what they're gonna do. You know, how they do readings, and you know how they work with the, you know, yeah, how they conduct readings. That's one of the reasons why I want to start getting readings from others, because I said at the beginning, I'm not sure if you were here for that, but I said at the beginning, you know, one of the best ways to be a good reader is to, yeah, be on the other side, to be a querent and receiving readings from others. So I'm like, okay, let's go around. Let's see who out here doing reading. So yeah. Reading an astrology. What astrology book are you reading? Curious, but I mean, I think I'm good on astrology books. What I have is what I have, and what I'm gonna read through and work with. Oh my god, that fucking cat scared the shit out of me. Oh, damn. He's taken, everyone. Let's see. The Stars Within You by Juliana McCarthy. What is this? If you're looking for a good astrology book, A Beginner's Guide to Birding in the US. God damn it, Firefox giving me these articles that distract me. No, what was I going to look up? Jesus, that was none of the letters that I wanted to type. Juliana. Right? What was the name? What was the name? Yeah, McCarthy. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Oh, wait. No, wait. Is this? Let me see. Oh, this book. I've seen this. I've seen it. So who recommended it? Dustin, Modern Metaphysicae. He recommended this book, I believe, right? He just did a review on it. Yeah, this one looked interesting. I highly recommend Chani Nicholas, her book on um, uh, kind of basic. I really like it. Yeah, I heard it after his review. Yeah, I saw it and I was like, okay. But like I said, I have enough. I have enough. This was the only other book that I was like keeping my eye out for. I should be on streamer. I don't even know if I'm showing it. That I was keeping my eye out for and saving up for. And I finally got it on the decans of astrology. So yeah, I think I was born in Aries 2. No, I was born in Aries 1, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I'm 25. Let's see. So yeah, but one of the best intros to astrology. It's oh, I'd like to see that. This one. This one is out of print, and that's why it's so expensive right now. But apparently there's going to be a reprint. But it's not. I don't know when. Austin Kopic, if you're watching this, I highly doubt you are. I'm about ready to like start posting comments on everything that you post and be like, "Where's the reprint?" Because again, I would like to see it. I would like a hardcover version of this. Let me see here. Let me get some books that I recommend. These are the 3 I recommend. Yeah. Here's what I'm recommending. For a good introduction for your big 3, Sun, Moon, and Rising, You Were Born for This by Chani Nicholas. I read through this. I did all the exercises on it. Loved it. Oh my God, this is cool. This is so good, so easy, so beginner friendly, so easy to read. It's, yeah, I went through it in like over a weekend. It's great. Let's see. You showed me those last week ordered one. Which, wait, what? Wait, what? Thomas, wait, what? Last week? What do you mean? What do you mean? Am I forgetting something? Am I confused? I don't know. I'm not sure. What do you mean? Wait, last week? I'm like, last week? Last week? Like, last week? Was I live last week? Or what? I am confusion now. Astrology, a cosmic science. This is another good one. You were here last week. Wait, did I go live last week and not like remember that I went live last week? Right, it's the one that I made private, right? I'm not sure. You were here, girl. You have to. I'm so sorry if I completely forgot. But yeah. Anyways. Astrology, a Cosmic Science by Isabel M. Hickey. I love this book, especially when it relates to you really can relate a lot of this to tarot. I like this, but yeah. And then right, I remember now. I also mentioned the astrology course by Benabel Wen. Yes, last time I remember it now. Yeah. I remember. Okay, it's coming back to me. It was dead. It came back to life in my mind. And then this one by DK, by Carol Taylor, Astrology Using the Wisdom of the Stars in Your Everyday Life. Those I recommend. The white book again. Sorry, yeah. Let me actually focus this a bit. There we go. Astrology, a Cosmic Science by Isabel M. Hickey. So yeah. It doesn't intentionally relate to tarot. What I mean is that the astro, like you're not going to get tarot in here. There's no tarot in here, but what you read isn't. Let me just clarify that it's not intentional. But I'm like, okay, I see it. Okay, I can make easy connections to that. Yeah. Drinking. I've a lot of coffee, and also just really more like just babysitting. I know what you're. Okay. I just have to make sure. Let me tell you when people friggin' like I will be saying stuff and people will take it out of context. Oh my god. I'm gonna need to order another one. No, take your time. These books are usually like, gotta take your time and learn these things. So yeah, yeah. Thomas said it doesn't specify, unfortunately, on September 18th, 2020. It said I was 32%, and I was okay on the ancestry.com. Oh, come on. Get him, Queen of Shovels. Get her, Jade. And I like the icon pic. What is that? Is that Bart Simpson? And what is he wearing? I don't know if she's at the computer. There we go. Get her, Jade. Well, make sure you delete them. Don't put user on timeout. It's hide user on this channel. I wish YouTube just made it block, or remove user from this channel. Wish they made it easier. Because again, I feel like everybody does that mistake. They go straight for the put user on a timeout. Yeah, I've sometimes done it too, where I accidentally just do that. So yeah. Let's see. On September 18th, 2020, it said I was 32%, and just now it just says I'm 20%. How did this change? I can't trust this. All right, yeah, it's all good. Thank you, Christy. I think with Ancestry, I don't think do they do genetic stuff? It varies from company to company, but I thought Ancestry was more like research into documents and family history lines and all that. So yeah. Let's see, what's the very first book you bought on tarot? The very first book I bought on tarot, I think, have we talked about this? I feel like I've mentioned it before, I think. But yeah, no. Very first one, I actually don't recommend that much for beginners, but it's good. I think I talked about it. Genetics and research. Okay. Let me see this. I got it here. I sometimes recommend it for beginners, but it's so big and it's just. But again, Holistic Tarot by Benabel Wen is the first book on tarot that I got. At the time when I started getting into tarot, this book was like all the rage. I think Patrick, the Living Wheel, that's his channel Instagram account now. He did a video series. He did a video series on this book, and as he went through it, and as he worked through it and read through it and talked about all the contents in each one, and yeah, and it's like at the time it was very I just had a brain fart right now. It was very popular at the time, and I was like, let me just I think I did show it to you. I think I did show it to you in that last live stream where I just showed a bunch of books and all that. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this because one, the size. I feel like you can find something a little more digestible and introductory to tarot. Yeah. What is it? Where? What? That book on your bed, is that an astrology book? I believe I have that on my nightstand right now. Is it this one? I think you were here when I shared it. Yeah, the Astrology of Cosmic Science. I love it. I really need to finish going through these astrology books, but I haven't had the time. That would take me about 6 months to read. I mean, I don't know. Probably it would take a long time because it's so big. And that's what I'm doing right now. So far, I'm not reading it fully. I'm kind of like, because of how it is. I think I mentioned this in the last in that live stream. I mentioned that it's not all consolidated into one section. So like the parts on the planet of on the planets, they're like divided into 3 chapters for some reason, and it can get a little repetitive sometimes. So I'm just going through. I find, like right now I'm on Mars, so I go through the chapter, like the first section that she talks about Mars, and then the other one, and then that one, and then I go back again and do it for what would be the next one, Jupiter. Yeah, and then I'm going to do it for Jupiter, and then repeat the process until I go through all the planets. Saturn, I think, and then I think she does Uranus and Neptune and Pluto. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's because I barely read. I try to read as much as I can, but yeah, and for the most part, I also tend to take care of them. But yeah, luckily this one has increased, but I'm pretty sure once the later on I get on it, yeah. But again, I haven't read this much really. So yeah. But again, I'm also a person that likes to take care of their stuff. Some people like to ruin the things that they buy, for some reason. And I'm like, I like to take care of it and make it last. Okay, so I'm completely alone. I probably in how you read, yeah. Yeah, and how you read books, probably, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Usually, once I read through it once, I put it on my shelf and I'm like, okay, I have a lot of books and I can't believe I haven't got that one yet. There's plenty that I'm like, I haven't gotten it yet. One day, but not today. Oh my god, I'm almost on to the... Okay, so we're going to stop this at the 3-hour mark. 8 minutes left, y'all. 8 minutes left. What are we going to talk about for the last 8 minutes? Oh my god. The struggles of having long hair is that some of them are just floating to the side and scaring me. Sorry for the yawn. My partner has loads of crime books and she loves to bend the spine. I mean, I believe some of those would be very tense, and I feel like, yeah, the spine would be naturally bent. That's why I try and go for a hardcover. Those usually last longer and are nicer, and they, so yeah. Yeah, I'm needing to get some cleaning done. My folks are coming tomorrow. You're helping me procrastinate. Wait a minute. You're listening to me and not doing anything else. Usually when there's live streams, I'll be able to listen in the background and also do whatever I need to do. I'll have my earphones in and I'll have the live stream playing and my phone, and I'll be able to, stop what I'm doing and then type on the phone, type in the chat in the phone and all that, so I can do what I need to do and also do that. So yeah. I can't stand trying to read something without the book fully open. And that's another thing that I try and look for is, can the book fully open? Because sometimes, like example A, I just got it from here, book M, Liber Mundi, look at her. Because the pages are very stiff, and this is sometimes it's just the production quality on the book, Again, Dune. The mass market paperback wouldn't open like this, and this opens pretty well. This is pretty floppy. The pages are big enough and floppy enough to open well enough to have fully open like this, and the spine can be spared. That's another thing that I look for. So yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, hopefully I'll try. I didn't. That was unintentional. This was unintentional. I completely forgot this Saturday that that I went live on Saturday. But yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I grabbed some chips and wine. Randomly shuffle the cards with you. No clean. Girl. One of these days, I'm gonna make it so I'm gonna go live again on my phone, and I'm gonna carry you guys around with me as I go live, and I do chores around the house or something. I think Kellyanne Maddox did a video like that where she was doing laundry and she was talking about something that she wanted to things that she wanted to talk about with that. So yeah, okay. So what have we established with answering this question? Yeah, cleaning is dumb. Adulting sucks. Well, for me, it's like, well, it leaves you open to receive other stuff. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Not yet hopeful soul 72. I know some people got their decks already, but I opted to wait for mine to come with the book because I wanted both. And the book is still like in like 3 weeks, maybe it'll get into her hands and she'll be able to start shipping out then. But yeah, no, not yet. Almost though. Almost there. Saturday should be a new thing because I bring the most random but also good stuff. Yeah, it's always good to you bring good topics to rehash sometimes. Yeah. So yeah. Bye Thomas. Yeah. Stay safe. Enjoy your blue lagoon or whatever, unless you already drank that. Yeah, cleaning is not dumb. It's therapeutic. Again, you're setting space. You're taking care of your space, you know? Um, let's see. You didn't get it? Who knows if you like the cardstock? Because apparently you don't like Baba cardstock. I'm like, girl, what? Please do an unboxing when you get it, please. I'll try to. I don't really like. I'll do a first impressions maybe. I'll try and do that, but again, it'll have to be on my Patreon first. I've got more videos to do. I gotta do one on this one. I gotta do one. I'll probably do an unboxing live and like show like, oh, here's what I got, kind of like what I did here, but I won't talk too much depth into it, and then I'll do a proper walkthrough discussion of it through it as I read up on it or whatever. But again, with that big book, who knows? Who knows? Once I get into it, yes, it's starting. It's like you'll get that random urge to start cleaning, and then once you wipe down one thing, and then you're like, I just might as well just start sweeping this thing now, and then it just carries on to that. That's how I clean. But yeah, I need to get some cash before I can get my hands on it. Okay. Thankfully, Alexandria Huntington, Gia Hunt. How do you pronounce her name? I'm gonna say Gia Hunt, I think. Thankfully, she usually does like discounts or or coupons and all that. That she'll coupons and discounts every now and then for and sales on that. So yeah. Let's see. I love Los Carabeo cardstock the best. I mean, Los Carabeo isn't that bad of a cardstock. Yeah, U.S. games. Yeah, Llewellyn is like a hit or miss for some people for some reason. But yeah. Who else? I'm not sure who else. But anyways, what is this? I think I just got a message. Nothing. Okay, it's nothing. All right. So yeah, what else? Well, okay, so to review what we've learned before we fall into talking about cardstock again. What is this? Did you see Chiro Marchetti's Mystic Palette? What is that? Great. Now we're gonna be on here for a whole another hour. Now I gotta look this up. I really gotta look this up. Let me see. Chiro. Look at that. Let's see, Chiro Marchetti. What is it, like a makeup palette or like a color palette or something? Mystic Palette Tarot? What is this? Sorry, it's just Wait, right? Where is it? Yeah, it's available for pre-order only. Shipping will begin late November. Right? Is that the Emperor? It's an interesting looking Emperor. At first I was meh. Now I'm looking at it. Okay. Maybe. He has a sepia edition, and then he has wait, is there like a full color edition? And then okay, so this is like the standard edition. Oh, this is the cloth, right? Altar and reading cloth. Oh, okay. I'd probably get the full color. I mean, like, isn't that the point? I would at least. Can I get bigger pictures? No. Okay. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, I just closed it. I was gonna share it on here. Oh well. Oh no. It's no problem. No problem at all. I don't have any money to spend anyways. I'm gonna buy a bunch of ink right now. All my money right now is gonna go to ink. Because instead of tarot, because yeah, what is there anything else on tarot that no, not that I can think of. No. I've managed to come to a point where I'm like, I don't have to stress about, I could spend my money on other stuff, other than just a tarot deck and fear of missing out of a deck that might be coming out for pre-order. Speaking of which, Ashira Tarot, that is coming soon. The 3rd edition is being done. She did I think she redid all the princes in the deck and a few other cards. I think maybe the queens as well. I'm not sure, but for sure I seen from the clip that I saw. Yeah. So Ashira Tarot 3rd edition, it's coming soon. If y'all missed out on that and y'all were like, damn, don't worry, she's coming back. So yeah, there we go. We're already at 3 hours. I wanted to do an overview of all that we've discussed here, but girl, my throat is hurting, and yeah, girl. How do you spell her name? Who? I keep doing reprints and I don't have money. Girl, you gotta sign up for them emails. You gotta sign up for you gotta do you gotta check up on their Facebook, Oh, right. Her name is the creator's name is Sarah Wheatley. But let me see. Let me. That's not what I want. Ashira. Who else loves the Prince of Egypt? And the creator is Sarah Wheatley. So yeah, that's yeah. Sweetheart, thank you for making this. Girl, you gotta, like I said, yeah. I was there. I was at that point. I've been there. I'm like, bitch. Right when I spent all my, right when I bought all these other decks. No, if you know a Baba Studio deck is coming out, then you'll know. Wait, no, Baba coming soon. Don't do anything. Girl, you're not really complaining, are you? So yeah, there we go. I think that's all. Greenwood also has an update, probably 2022, 2023, I believe 2023 for sure. I think is when that deck is coming out, being reprinted, and they're also doing a Sherwood Oracle. So yeah. Anyways, thank you everyone for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed this little chat we had, and hopefully we brought some clarity, and hopefully soon I will do videos on this deck here, and eventually hopefully this deck right here. And then where'd she go? Here she is. and this one as well. So look forward to these 3 coming soon. Girl, I want you to see. There we go. The symbol on there. There you go. So it's not just, so you guys don't think it's just a white rectangle on there. So yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Good night, everyone. Y'all gotta go get your rest. Okay. It's late or super early. Okay. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And again, if you want early access to these videos that I'm doing and all these things that I'm talking and all these things I will share, turn back time, share. You know, then you can support me on Patreon. And I also do monthly and weekly readings on there. And I'll try and post other things too that I want to write about on there as well. So keep an eye out on that. So yeah. Anyways, bye everyone. Okay, end broadcast.